Well, hello everyone. Trucker Todd here. Time for Tuesday Trucker Talk, and we've got a lot to get to today. In the beginning, when I started this, I said from time to time that we would bring on other truckers, other YouTubers, things like that, kind of get a different perspective. And tonight we've got a real treat. We've got a guy that he's been a big supporter of the channel. He does a lot of music and things like that. And he's got a new series on there that I really enjoy, and I hope it runs for a while. He kind of does a day in the life from a company perspective. He's kind of got a local job where he's home every day, the way I understand it. But it's really good. It's really well put together and edited. And so I can't wait to talk to him about that. And originally, I was going to bring some more people on this week, and I just had trouble getting a hold of a lot of you. So if I told you in the past that I'd bring you on the show, get in contact with me, and we'll try to put that together in the coming weeks. We do that, I do want to get into the fuel surcharge and tell you all about something crazy that happened this week. Um, let's see, Trucker John is here. Joe Adams is here. Thanks for joining us. Trying to give it just a second for a few people to get in here. I'm not sure how quick the notifications went out. Um, the fuel surcharge this week, national average price of fuel was 4.28 a gallon. Swift's fuel surcharge was 50.3 cents per mile, and the West Coast fuel surcharge remained at 10. All of that information was pulled from the Swift website, so if there's any errors there, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reporting what they said on there. It's been a crazy, kind of frustrating week. I had a flat tire last night that had to get patched and drove the truck about an hour, and then that tire blew out. And it was a whole ordeal today to get it fixed. Yeah, James said there's no notifications that's gone out. So some people may be coming in late. We may have a small crowd that watches it on the replay, but we'll keep ticking along either way. And so the other thing that happened was, and I really want to talk about this more on Thursday night. I booked a load on Saturday, and Sunday morning at 6:30 in the morning, Swift pulled the load off of me. It was supposed to pick up Monday at 3 p.m., and Swift pulled it saying that it had to be picked up by 7 p.m. Sunday night, which was a live load. Now, that in of itself isn't weird. That happens in trucking. What's weird about that is nobody at Swift can tell me why. This has been a multi-day investigation. So did we give the load to somebody else? How did the appointment change? It showed that in their computer. I sent them screenshots and everything. But it's been a big ordeal trying to figure out. And by Thursday, if we don't have a clearer understanding of what happened, I'll have a lot to say on Thursday night. Hello, John. Uh, James says the notification just went out. Logic Neo is here. All right, folks, let's go ahead and bring Joe in. Um, I've got a lot to ask him. I know the answers to some of these questions, like how he got into trucking, but it's a pretty interesting story. We'll get him in here and go from there. Hey, Joe, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, Todd, what's going on, man?
Oh, just hanging out. How's things going there?
It's going great, man. I'm on vacation, so everything's always good on vacation, right?
Now, as a company driver, you get those. What is a vacation? Can you explain those to us? That's a concept I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, yeah. I can only imagine. It's a little different on this side of the fence, I guess, and
Yeah, that's funny.
because
So,
I have some things to ask you later in the broadcast about the whole lease purchase world or whatever that I've
oh,
always been
oh,
fascinated with.
wonderful.
Yeah, I've always been
Well,
fascinated with
if I don't know the answer, I'll make up something that sounds really good. How's that?
that.
So,
That'll work, man. That'll
so
work.
I think you and I are pretty close to the same age, and I think we've been driving about the same length of time. How long have you been driving?
I got my I got my CDLs in around 19 was it 92. To my recollection, I was working for a contractor for an electric company, I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, and this underground contractor, we had, it was a 6-man crew, and we had, you know, a couple of backhoes, front end loaders, stuff like that, and about 5 dump trucks. And I'd worked with them for a couple of years, and I think after about the first 8 months I was there, that's when the law came that you had to have a CDL, Class A CDL, to operate the dump trucks and everything else. That's what we were told anyway. So we, fortunately, the company I worked for then has since went out of business. It was called Harrison Wright. That was the name of the contractor. But they grandfather claused us. You know, they paid for our trip to the DMV and to take the test. And of course, everybody on the crew passed, but me. I had to, I passed one part of the 3 parts of the written test. I passed one and I failed the other 2. So I had to go back on my dime and take the other 2, and I barely passed them. But being grandfather claused in, we didn't have to do a road test. We didn't have to do the pre-trip, none of that stuff. So we got very fortunate, and I've had CDLs ever since. So that was I got them in '92, and I started to I left that line of work doing underground utilities. I left that and started driving for a concrete company in Spartanburg, which is an hour from here, Spartanburg, South Carolina. And the name of that concrete company was called Metromont back then. But before I got working for them, I was in my first marriage, and I was living in Charlotte. And my then father-in-law, he worked for the concrete company, and I was making what I call nickel and dime money on jobs, and he said, "Have you ever you got CDLs, right?" I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "You ever drove a truck?" I said, "No, I drove a dump truck." He goes, "Let me see what I can do." So he went back to work the next day, and he got me an interview with the boss man at the concrete company. So I went there. I took a couple of days off my job in Charlotte, drove to Spartanburg. I guess that was like an hour and 20-minute drive from where I lived then. And I went in there and talked to one of the members of management, some big wheel, and he told me, he said, "Your father-in-law put in a good word in for you," and they respected him highly there. Rest his soul, he's passed on that a long time ago. But he's put a word in for me, and the manager looked at me and he said, "You got CDLs?" I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "You ever drove an 18-wheeler?" I said, "No, sir. Drove a dump truck." He said, "Well, man, I don't know. That's kind of, you don't really have no experience." And I said, "Well, I can learn." And when I said that, because I'm going to tell you, Todd, I was in almost dire straits, man. I was needing a good job, and this was a good place to work at the time. And when I said, "Well, I can learn if somebody can teach me," and when I said that, his eyes just kind of lit up. And he said, "Can you be back here tomorrow for a drug test?" I said, "Yes, sir." And so I came back, went and took the drug test, and then they hired me. And then I came back like a week later. I was supposed to work a 2-week notice at the other place. At that time, I was working for the city of Charlotte, which is great benefits but no money. So I was supposed to work a 2 weeks notice, but I only worked a week. And I went to the manager's office. I said, "Man, I'm out of here." He said, "What? What?" He started getting all, he tried to write me up, and I was like, "Dude, I'm leaving. What are you doing?" So I left. And then I went to Spartanburg. I was still living in Charlotte, so I was commuting an hour and 20 minutes each way, And so I rode with a guy. His name was Jimmy. He was an older man. At this point in time, I was probably 25 years old, and I'm 52 now. So I rode with a guy for about 2 months, and they had Mack day cabs, and this ugly it was kind of a blue color, kind of like the color of this pick here. It was kind of like that color blue Mack.
Oh boy!
And and it matched that was the color of the company color that I worked for, and so I rode with that gentleman for about 2 months, and that was the first time I ever saw an Eaton Fuller 10-speed. Because the dump trucks they didn't have that, and so he made me ride with him for like 3 or 4 days just to watch, and I was watching how he flipped that little switch to go into high gear and all that stuff. And I didn't, I was like, what is all that, So he put me in the driver's seat. He goes, "You think you're ready?" I said, "Yeah." And man, I started grinding them gears. We didn't even get off the concrete property, the yard. He told me to pull over. He made me get back in the passenger seat. And so he was rough, man, but that's how I learned. He taught me everything, backing up, how to do everything. So it was a great learning experience. And I worked. They had me with him, like I said, for 2 months, and then they turned me loose on my own. I had my own truck, 18-wheel and a flatbed, unloading concrete pipe and all that stuff. And so I worked there for 5 years, and I'd worked my way up to where I just got a new Mac Day cab and a brand new flatbed trailer, all that stuff, the binders, chains, straps, all the stuff you need. And then I got wind of where I work now, which is for a dairy company. And the thing about working at the concrete plant or delivering concrete products for them, and whenever it would rain, we wouldn't work because you couldn't get into the job site. You get stuck, right? So a lot of times we get rained out, and if you got rained out, they'd make you clock out and go home. So I was there for like an hour and go home. I was like, man, I ain't making no money. Well, there was another guy that was working. He was a driver as well at the concrete company, driving flatbeds. And he said, man, I'm going down here and I'm going to reapply to the dairy company. I said, reapply? You used to work there? He goes, yeah, man, years ago. And I got laid off, but they're booming now. And I said, yeah, I know what company you're talking about. I see their trucks all the time because right down the frontage road from the concrete company was Penske. And I would see those dairy trucks going in there and getting fuel because we had to go there and get fuel too from the concrete company. And I said, yeah, I've seen their trucks there. And so he said, you should go apply, man. He goes, you get paid for everything over there. At the concrete company, we clocked in. We was getting paid by the hour. Where I work now, you get paid. You get paid for dropping your trailer. You get paid for bumping the dock. You get paid mileage. You get paid detention pay if you broke down. And if you're a location delivering and you're there for more than 45 minutes, you go on the clock. So you get paid a bunch of different ways. It's not just mileage. And so I went there and applied, and that was in 2000, and I'm still there now. So wow. It's a good job. There's been times I've wanted to jump ship, because it's seniority based where I'm at now. And when I started, I was on the very bottom, and you just have to work your way up. And it's pretty soon it'll be 23 years. Actually later this month be 23 years. And so, it's union, we're union over there. And, so it's pretty good. It's, but I mean, look, every job has its pros and cons. It's with this where I'm working at now, I'm thankful to be working there. But man, it's if I wasn't on vacation, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be going because I work the night shift. I go in at 5 in the evening and I work roughly 12 hours and then drive an hour back here to the house. So, get home, get washed up, take my meds, and I'm in the bed, and I get up, and when I have to go to work, I'm here for maybe 3 hours, 2.5 tops, and I'm gone again. So it's you're constantly against the clock on doing this company thing. You're always against the clock. And I've had friends that work where I do, and they've had over-the-road jobs. And they said working over the road, you get more rest because you don't have to race to get home. You can pull over and just hop in the back and, go to sleep or whatever. And we've had sleeper trucks. I had a sleeper truck for a long time, but I didn't have a chance to use it because we was always trying to hustle to get back, so I could get home. But.
So you mentioned unions, and you hear drivers grumble that a lot. Oh, we need to unionize. We need to unionize. Has the union been a big help to you over the 22 years? Have y'all gone on strike, or do you feel like they've advocated for you a lot?
I think.
Don't get yourself in trouble.
No. I think no. Have we went on strike? No, we've never done that. It's Um, what can I say? Let's see. Do I think that it's to my benefit? I think a yes and no. I think I put it this way. There's a UPS hub right down the street from the office I work out of, and they're in the same union we are, Local 509. They're in the same one. My personal opinion, and I told the UPS man to come out here about 3 weeks ago because he's in the same union. Well, he didn't know I was in the same union because I'm rarely here, to catch any packages because I'm all usually when they come out here I've already left, but my wife's here. But anyway, this one particular day I was here, and he come by and he's a real nice guy. And I said, hey man, are you in the union? And he kind of looked at me like, how'd you know that? And I said 509. He goes, yeah. He says, what do you know about that? And I said, I'm in the same union, man. He goes, who you work for? And I told him who I work for. And I said, I feel that the union caters to y'all more than they do us. Because it seems that, just my opinion, what I've seen over the years, they bend over backwards for UPS, man. But to be fair, UPS has a whole lot more drivers, and those guys, they stick together, and they you gotta, to make a union work at your place of employment. The drivers have to, the workers, they have to stick together, and if you get a contract you don't think is really good, then everybody needs to stick together instead of everybody just going, yeah, you know what, just vote it through, man. Just go ahead. So, and I think that's kind of been the thing where I work. We've got so many new drivers over the past, since the pandemic. I mean, it's just drivers are in high demand, and I think I heard that they actually had somebody going there and grabbing guys right out of school that really haven't had a chance to have a lot of road experience, and but they were just desperate to get drivers, which it is what it is. I mean, but we've got so many new guys. I think when the contract come around, I mean, because they have to send us a copy of the proposal, and everybody votes by mail. Okay, well, I looked at it and I didn't like it, and it said yes or no. I put a big X on the no. I said nope, and I mailed it back. And then when it come time for the results, the yeses outweighed the nos big time. And see, to me, that comes from, I mean, everybody has to start somewhere, but to me, that comes from those guys coming over here. They've never had a union job. And there's not many of those here in this area. You got UPS, you got us, and maybe one or two other small places, and that's it. But all those new drivers over here, I think they just voted it through because they was like, we're going to get what? Oh, that's amazing. I never made that before. I'm like, dude, we can make more than that if y'all would stick together and let's have a meeting. Let's do something. So it was still a decent contract. Don't get me wrong. It was still decent, but I think it could have been a little bit better. But because we just got bought out by a bigger company. We got bought out not long ago. And so they delayed the proceedings for, a year and a half or so, something like that. And they finally, got stuff together. But yeah, it still turned out good, I think. But I just, you're talking about your financial future, and some contracts are 5 years. This one here is 3 years, which is still okay. It's still all right. I just think it could have been a little bit better. Is it totally bad? No, absolutely not. But the insurance is pretty decent. It used to be better. It's still okay. It's still pretty decent, but it used to be really good. But I think that's happening everywhere. I don't think that's just where I work. I think that's at a lot of places, especially since the past couple of years.
So the notifications went out late tonight, and a lot of people are just getting here. We've got Joe Wentz from the YouTube channel Joe Wentz Project TV. His email is also down in the ticker if you guys want to contact him. ask him questions. He's a company driver. He's a really good guitarist, and we're going to get into his music here in just a minute.
Oh
And
Lord.
we're already getting some questions for him. We're going to jump in that. He's a part of a trucking union, so you guys that have questions about unions, things like that. He's also a seasoned veteran, so if you think I'm full of baloney, you can ask him some questions, and we can draw on his knowledge and experience.
Oh Lord.
And so just to be clear, he does not work at Swift.
No, do
Um,
not.
so, so we're getting a different perspective. And as a bonus, he says he has some questions about me, or questions for me about lease purchase. So we're going to jump into those here in a minute too. But I want to touch on his music and get to some of these questions first.
Sure.
Skyline says that is very true. A lot of people said OTR sucks, but I love it. So much time to think and plan things for your home time. When I started driving, my goal was to get my wife out of working, and I did. So,
Yeah, that's good.
and
That's trucking is. Look, let me tell you something, man. To me, this is my opinion. It doesn't matter if you're local, regional, OTR, or whatever. If you're a truck driver, we're all dealing with the same thing. We're all dealing with traffic. We're all dealing with blown tires. We're all dealing with road rage. We're dealing with the weather. Different, especially when Christmas and the holidays comes around, it's a mess. We're all dealing with the same kind of things. But trucking's been good for me, man. Like I said before, started driving, I was digging ditches and doing a lot of outside construction. I hated that. You couldn't get used to the weather. You might have a handful of days that were nice, and then the rest was, cold or too hot or it was raining. I worked out in the rain so many times when I was younger. It ruined me. I don't even want to be out in the rain no more. you know.
so this is one thing I was afraid of when we brought you on. You're not set up to do requests tonight, are you?
Oh no, no. I mean, not with this setup. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't. The quality wouldn't be that great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his like I was saying about his videos, he did one with a buddy of his where he's playing the guitar and his buddy's playing the drum, and it
yeah.
looks like an MTV music video. You
Thanks, man.
guys, after
Yeah,
don't leave this live to do it, but after this live is over, go over and check out some of his music because he does a lot of 80s hair band stuff. And even though I've got a lot less hair, I still love that kind of music. And really, I've got hair. We've had some debates about that, but it's light blonde, and
yeah.
when it's short, you can't tell it. But that's what made me think of that was he said play some Santana
Oh,
Joe.
that's the one artist that I don't mess with. Santana, Carlos Santana is amazing. He's amazing, but I'm just not crazy about his style. And I have a buddy of mine, another guitar YouTube buddy. He lives in Fort Myers, Florida. His style of playing is just like Carlos Santana. He could play just like that. But yeah, yeah, that was just my era, man. The '70s classic rock and '80s. I'm considered an old guy now, so that's just what I love to play. And music has always been my number one passion. Everybody has what they like. Some people like to paint, some people like to do poetry, or I don't know, rebuild cars. And music is my thing. You know.
So let's see what else we've got here. Chris says, "Hey brother in Cisco, on my way back to El Paso with a pre-plan back to Georgia. Wow, you're going to be passing within about 2 hours of my house. I
Oh
live in
wow.
Lubbock, which is about 2 hours north of Odessa. So when you get in that area, that's a powerful statement, Todd, and a blessing that you were able to get your wife out of work. Yeah,
Yeah,
that is.
I was able to do that too. Well, there were certain circumstances. My wife, she had to. Not long. We got married in 2007, and not long after we got married, she started having really bad back issues. And come to find out, she had to have surgery. And then over the years, she's had 6 surgeries altogether. And she has degenerative disc disease in her back, so that's another reason why she had to quit work. But I mean, she's able to move around, and she just can't. Nobody can do like they used to could when they were young. But if it wasn't for my job and in the union and the decent insurance,
Second, or we lost me for a second.
nah, you good. You ain't
Yeah.
went nowhere.
Chris says he's looking forward to his career change. Well, you can see, just look behind Joe. He's got tons of equipment, and truck driving has provided that for him. If he had been a sacker at the local grocery store, or if he'd have continued digging ditches, a lot of the hobbies and passions that he have might not have been possible.
It like I said, the stuff I love. It didn't happen overnight. It took years to get equipment and stuff like that. But yeah, it took a lot of extra miles and stuff. To get that stuff. But it all depends on what you want. You know.
Brian says, "What's up?" He is going to work for a lumber yard. He got a second chance. That's
Oh,
great, man. I haven't got back to you because I haven't heard anything, but I'm glad you found something,
that's
and I know
great,
that
man.
was a concern for you.
That's
Um,
great. Yeah.
you may end up with something like Joe has at some point. Just hang in there. But let's talk about your music for a second. How did you get started? Did you have formal training? Did you teach yourself?
No formal training. Nobody in my family were musicians or nothing like that. Well, I take that back. My uncle, my dad's brother, he would play. He played guitar when he was a lot younger. But my uncle, they lived in Myrtle Beach, and I grew up in Charlotte, so that was like 4 hours and some change in distance. But the only time I'd see my uncle would be at Christmas when they had the Christmas Eve thing. But anyway, I got interested in guitar in the summer of '86. My parents had a place at this campground in Monksville, North Carolina, which is just on the other side of Statesville, and it was a small town called Monksville, and it was a campground called Lake Myers. And back then, this was in, like I said, the middle of the '80s. They had bands that would go up and play up there, and they had different varieties of music that would play. And then this one particular Friday, the band was setting up, and it was a band that was going to play the music of the time, which was the '80s music and stuff like that. A little bit of hair metal, Not everybody in that campground was crazy about it because it was kind of an older crowd, but anyway, they were setting up, and the guitar player was warming up, and he was playing a guitar like this. That's a Fender Strat, except his was mine's white, but his was blue, and I just froze in my footsteps, and I was watching. His fingers were just doing this. I said, oh "My God, what?" I looked at my friend that's in that video with me that's playing the drums. He was, we were 16 years old, and I looked at my buddy. I said, "You see that dude, man?" He's like, "Yeah, I see him." I said, "Let's walk up there." So we walked up while he was warming up. The whole band was setting up their equipment, and the guy was warming up. And I had a boom box. That's what we called him back then. And I had a cassette tape in there. And I said, we introduced ourselves. And I said, "Man, I know this is going to sound crazy." I said, "I don't mean to sound weird, but can I record you warming up?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. I don't care," and he was just playing, and I didn't. He's like, "I bet you know this tune." I didn't know nothing. I didn't know what he was playing. I didn't, he was playing all these riffs from all these songs. I didn't know what they were. I just played it off like I was like, "Oh yeah, that's great." And I was like, "I don't know what the hell he's playing. I don't know what. I have no idea." But I just knew it sounded amazing, and that was what kick-started the infatuation with wanting to play guitar. So if you fast forward to Christmas, around the holidays of '86. There was this is crazy. There was on the radio station in town. It was a rock station, of course, which they don't really have those anymore. And they had this talent show, this call-in talent show. You could call in, and I don't know, you do some kind of talent on over the phone. And if you were the winner, you won $100. And I remember I was getting ready for school one morning. My mom was upstairs getting ready. My dad was already gone for work. And I said, "I'm just going to call. I don't know. And I called, and I got through because usually it's always busy. And they answered. They said, "WRQ." And I said, "Yeah, I was calling for the talent show." They said, "Yeah, what kind of talent do you want to display?" I said, "I want to do some drums over the phone." And they said, "You want to do what?" I said, "Some drums." They said, "Like what?" And so I did this. Kind of something like that. It sounds kind of funny with a microphone, but it sounded really good over the phone, back then. And they said, "Hold on a minute." So they patched me through, and you could hear the DJs talking and all. And then they said, "You're live on there, and who is this?" Blah blah blah. And they said, "Display your talent." So I did it, and they were laughing. And they said, "You got a Casio keyboard?" I said, "No, sir." And they said, "Do it again." So I did it again, and they said, "Okay, thanks for calling," and that was it. And then so I hung up the phone, and I went to school. A few people said, "Hey man, I heard you on the radio," which I wasn't expecting that at all, and I thought that's kind of wild. And so then I got home that afternoon, and I'd get home about 2:15 in the afternoon, and as soon as I walked in, well, see, my mom would always call around 2:15. She wanted to make sure I was home, right, not doing no mischief or something. And so I walked in the door, and the phone rang. I figured it was my mother. It was the radio station, and I said, "Hello," and they said, "Yeah, is this Joe Wentz?" I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Who's this?" They said, "This is Rob Shanahan." I'm making up a name. Rob Shanahan from WRQ. I'm the producer of the morning show. And did you call this morning and do a talent over the phone? I said, "Yes, sir." They said, "What'd you do?" I said, "I did some drums." And they said, "Do it again." So I did it again. And he said, "Well, you did it. You proved it. You won." And I won $100. And then so with that $100, when they finally sent it to me, I went to the music store and put my very first guitar and the amp on layaway.
Wow.
That's how I got that.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's crazy.
OTR Gamer says, "Hey Todd, Juan here. We emailed earlier. I got pre-approved and probably joining Swift in the next couple of weeks."
Oh wow,
That's great, Juan.
awesome.
I didn't realize you as a gamer. Send me any of you guys that play Xbox or Nintendo Switch. Send me your gamer tags, and I'll try to add you on there. It's a little more complicated on Nintendo Switch, and I don't get to play as much as I'd like to. But if you guys send me your gamer tags, we'll try to play on there. At least be friends on there. Either way.
That's
Let's
cool,
see
man.
who else. Congratulations, Joe. What I tell people: discipline, focus, and dedication can get you to the top.
That's
I got
true, man.
another question for Joe.
Sure.
You do really, and you guys will see what I'm talking about when you go watch his videos. Really, really well edited and published videos. How did you learn to do that?
Oh man, that took just a bunch. I'd say honestly, a couple of years of just messing with stuff. I call it learning curves. Okay, and so what I do is I was really fascinated. I would watch a lot of YouTube. I mean, over the past 8 or 10 years, and I'd watch different channels, and I'd watch how they edited their videos, and I was like, how are they doing that? And then as smartphones evolved to be more and more high tech, if you will, if you have some pretty decent editing software on your phone, you can do all that on your phone, and that's what I do. But it just came from just messing with it, man, and messing with it and messing with it. And I would just shoot videos just here in the music room or either outside or whatever. And I wouldn't put them up. I would just do them for myself, and I would start to try to edit and try to make cuts and insert different clips and just to see what it would look like. And then, but yeah, man, I appreciate that. There's an app that I use. It's called Kenny Master. Now, the way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it'd be pronounced that way. I thought it was Kind Master, but it's spelled Kine Master, and it's all one word. And that is a editing app that you can use for your smartphone, and it's a subscription-based app. So you pay so much to use it for a year, and that's what I use. And it took a lot of messing with to understand. I mean, not a whole lot, but with anything, the more time you mess with it, just like when you get a new smartphone, the more you mess with it, the more familiar you're going to get with it, and start to unlock its potential. And it's like that with editing software. And but
It's just
I shoot
hard to
everything on my
believe
phone.
you're self-taught. You're
Well,
really good. It's no classes or nothing, huh?
Well, I mean, I did watch a few tutorials on YouTube, but it blows my mind when you try to find something for somebody to explain something on YouTube. They always leave out key parts. It might be the smallest detail, but that's the detail you need to get across that one bridge that you're trying to get across. And they always leave stuff out. And I'm like, dude, what? This is not helping me. He gives you all the steps you need except that one little, so a lot of it I had to just figure it out. And some of it was pot luck, but yeah,
And
it just it just took a while, man. It just took a while to mess with it.
and Joe won't ever tell you this, but he's got a pretty big following on YouTube. He's got a lot of subscribers. He's over twice the size of my channel.
No,
So
man.
he's
Yeah.
probably the best kept secret on YouTube.
I think,
But we got one of his fans right here. Midlife Trucker Tom Bell says he loves the Trucker
oh, well,
series.
thank you, Tom. Thank you, man.
I do
appreciate
too.
it.
I look forward to them.
Thank you.
You've been putting out about one a week, and they're really good.
Thank you. I try to put one out. I've only done 4 episodes, so I've been doing it for what, a month now. So it's really new. It's really new. It hasn't had time to really get out, I don't think. But to me, I've always been fascinated with people that would do like a almost not a daily vlog, but just kind of talking about their life. And you have to be careful what you put out there. You can't put everything out. Just certain. And I was always fascinated by that. And it's I don't know. I just think it's really cool. I don't know. My wife calls it the only child syndrome because I was an only child growing up. I never had any brothers or sisters, and I've always been able to have a decent imagination, and I don't know. It just seems to me it's fascinating. I find it fun to make videos and edit because to me that's a whole nother creative avenue, and the more you learn, the more you can do stuff, and I can throw some stupid little skits in there and try to be funny with a character I made up called Rob about a year or two ago that it's just silly stuff. It's just me being silly, and Rob is a character I made up. He's a wannabe a thug, and he thinks he's all this and that when really he's dumb as a rock, but it's just stuff I like to throw in there. But it's, sometimes, and but it's fun, man. I did have another channel. I told you about this. I had a second channel for a brief time, maybe a month, and it started to do okay. It wasn't nothing spectacular, but it was getting a little bit of traction. I had to shut it down. And the reason, I'll tell you why it is, because the reason I shut it down was because I had, we talked about the phone holders that you can get out of Love's and put on your windshield, and I would have the phone holder behind me on the glass because it's a day cab, and it'd be sitting right here beside my right side of my face, and I'd have it filming while I was going to pick up my load because it was in the daytime, and back then on that channel everything was in color. Everything I do now is in black and white, and because I film mostly at night, so you can't really see vibrant colors at night when you're filming. So I made it black and white, and plus it has more of a documentary feel. To me, it does. But anyway, I shut that second channel down because I actually had footage of me driving in a company truck, and that's a no-no. You can't do that. So I shut it down, and so I got rid of all that, and I said, so it didn't even have a chance to see the light of day. So now everything is if I'm filming in the truck's not moving, or I'm outside of the truck, or if there's any driving footage, it's me in my personal vehicle, like going to work or something like that. But
it was funny. That first one you did had, when I saw the black and white and the music, I thought, oh, this is going to be a horror film. It's going to be scary.
Yeah, the first one is it has the full intro on it, and it is kind of long because I remember even you told me that, but I meant to do that because it kind of introduces what you're about to watch if you watch the series, and of course every episode after that it's a really short intro. I said I already knew when I went into it. I said I'm not going to make this long intro on every. Nobody wants to see that, So, but the first one has the full length intro, and but yeah, it was fun, man. It's just it's something different, and as you know, man, when you're driving all the time, all you have time to do is either talk on the phone, listen to audiobooks, or think. It's you can do a lot of thinking. You can drive yourself crazy in the cab of that truck if you're not careful. There's been times I've been driving down the road and I'd be thinking about something, and it would really make me angry, and I'd be so angry. And then about a few minutes later, I thought, man, what are you so mad at? You're the only one in this truck. What are you
Mm.
so What are you so mad at? So, you just have to learn to ease off some of those emotions, I guess, when you're driving by yourself all the
It's
time.
it's the very hardest thing I do is try to come up with show ideas. It's
It
harder than
is.
driving a truck or
It
anything else.
it is.
Trying to find stuff people are interested in.
It is. I on my channel years ago. I went. This is no kidding, man. I think I went for. I can't remember if it was 100 days straight or something like that. And I went live every day. Every day I went live, just talking about something. And man, you talk about trying to not repeat yourself. It's impossible. You're going to eventually go over some stuff again because there's
Yeah.
only so many things you can talk about.
Well, and I used to have a big fear of that, and somebody told me, Todd, videos you did 2 or 3 years ago, people either haven't seen or don't remember. They said it's okay after some time to go back and revisit old subjects. Midlife Trucker says he does a weekly vlog and review of his trucking week.
That's good. Yeah.
Midlife, what's the name of your channel? I'll check it out, and
Yeah. Yeah.
if you'll email me a link, and it's we may put you on the air like we're doing Joe right now in a
Yeah, I'd
couple
like
of
to see
weeks,
that
and let's
myself.
talk
That'd be
about.
interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. And it's it's when you do the videos, man, it's you can make it as the final product of what you've created. You can put as much as you want in there or as little. It's your discretion. So you can put as much paint on the canvas as you want. So to me, that's what I love about that. You have all the freedom to do what you want, as long as you don't do nothing crazy. Just have some common sense. But yeah,
I've invited some other trucking companies on here, and a lot of them are kind of afraid or a wait and see. They're afraid, since I'm such a big fan of Swift, they're afraid it'll be a gotcha session. So a lot of them are kind of, they're like, we want to watch you for a while before we go on there. Make sure you're not going to attack us. But
yeah.
let's remind everybody, because we've had some that have come in, some that's dropped off. We're with Joe Wentz. He's got the YouTube channel, the Joe Wentz Project TV. I've also got his email and the ticker. He does a really good series called The Trucker. He's a company driver, part of a union, and he's been driving since, did you say 94?
Uh, Driving big rig since '95. Yeah,
Since 95. So
yeah.
he's got a lot of experience and information. He's also an excellent guitarist. And I just found out he's a drummer too.
No,
and
no, I'm not a drummer. No,
and
not a
here in
drummer.
just a second, he's going to play us a compilation of really hard guitar riffs and drum solos. I'm just
Oh
joking.
Lord.
I ambushed him there. He wasn't, we didn't discuss him playing
I
music
was like,
tonight,
wait a
but
minute now.
if we can get him back at a later date, we'll get him to play some stuff. But
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
ton of it on his YouTube channel, and I hope you guys will go check it out after we finish up here tonight. Now he wants to ask me some questions about lease purchase, because even though he doesn't want to do it, he's curious about it.
Yeah, yeah. I've kind of looked into the whole lease purchase thing for years, and I'm sure you have too. And that whole landscape has seems to have changed a lot from the way it used to be, way back in the day, and then now, especially now with I'm assuming they're offering some pretty decent signing bonuses. I didn't know the company I work for. I didn't know they were offering a decent signing bonus till somebody told me. Because when I first went to work for my company, we didn't get nothing like that. You want a job or not. It wasn't, But now they offer a signing bonus. But lease purchase, okay. So what enticed you to do the lease purchase thing? Did you want the end game result? You wanted a truck, or was it more freedom, or you wanted to travel? I mean, or all three, or what enticed you to want to do it?
So basically, it was a couple of things. One of them was I wanted to be in control of the maintenance, because I saw a lot of companies making stupid maintenance decisions, and I felt like I could make better maintenance decisions. So that was a big one. Also, having freedom and flexibility about route selection. I worked for some companies that were very strict about the route you had to follow. And even Swift, and I don't think they're this way now, but back in 96, they would send you 50 miles out of route to get 25 or 50 gallons of fuel on
Mm,
their fuel solution. And it might have saved them a little money, but it was just, I saw a lot of things that made me think I could probably make better decisions. And so I spent probably 2 years in the fuel islands talking to every owner operator I could find, asking
right.
questions, learning,
Yeah.
and trying to decide. Now, back then, in Swift's first lease purchase, it was $10,000 down. So lease purchases have come a long way since then.
Now, when you say back then, you mean in the 90s or?
Yes, in the
Okay.
90s, the very first one Swift did.
Wow.
And thanks to lawsuits, and I never thought I'd say that, a lot of lease purchases at a lot of companies have improved. I still say most of them are bad. Most of them are designed for you to fail.
Right.
And you guys know that's been watching my videos the last couple of weeks. There's things I don't like about the Swift one, but I think it's the best of the bunch right now. So why do I do it then? Well, uh, the reason I do it is because the oh, how do I want to say this? Let's say that I had uh, a family emergency, something, and I needed to get out of driving. It's a whole lot easier to get out of a lease contract, even if it's not a full walkaway lease. It's a lot easier to get out of one of those contracts than it is a financial contract with a bank.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
also, I saw places, and this was a few months ago. Arrow Truck Sales was wanting 40% down on a new
Phew.
truck, first
Golly,
time
man.
buyer. So you get $100,000 truck, that's $40,000 they want down. Now I hear they've gone down a little bit on that since then,
Right.
but and then if you drive it 2 months and your wife hurts her back like you were talking about,
Yeah.
or something like that, you're stuck. The bank don't care; they want their money. Whereas in a lease, I can get out of it, and there's going to be some financial repercussions. I'm probably going to have to pay till they release the truck. I'm going to have all the services current, things like that. But they're not going to come after me to the degree that a bank was. Like a
Right.
bank, you'd have to file bankruptcy.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
somebody's asking about my background. I thought we had covered it. It is what they call a virtual background. It's available on StreamYard,
Yeah.
and basically I do it because I'm in the sleeper of my truck, and this is a lot prettier scenery than.
It's a smart move. I like it. It's
And
interesting. Yeah.
at some point I'm going to get some more and upload them on there, and you may have me on the beach or you in a prairie somewhere, but for now it's either this or a brick building until I
Yeah.
get a chance to put some more on here. Let's see what else we got here. Good companies treat their drivers right: culture, home time, equipment, and compensation.
That's right. That's right.
i
Yeah.
I generally agree with that. Something I've experienced the last few years is they start off really good, and then when they get things going their way, they kind of let it go to their head a little bit.
Ooh. Okay.
And I'll
Okay.
give you an example at Dart, for example. In the little over 2 years I was there, we had four different CEOs,
Good gracious.
and anytime you change CEOs, it's like going to a different company
Oh,
because they
yes.
bring in their
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
and so.
We're gonna
Uh,
make
I,
some changes. Yeah.
I weathered the storm and became friends with two out of the four CEOs.
Hmm.
And so I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying that you'll see changes to recruitment bonus. For example, Hirschbaugh, you mentioned sign on bonuses. A while back, they were doing $11,000 worth of sign on bonuses.
Golly.
And from what I understand, they've cut that way back.
Uh,
And
mm.
to me, that's a red flag when I see a sign on bonus that
Yeah.
big.
That and plus, I'm sure they have it fixed where you have to be there so long, you get part of it, and then they probably give it to you in, I don't know, pieces or quarters or something. I'm sure you don't get it all up front. I'm sure there's
Few hundred
stipulation.
dollars a month or something.
Yeah, it's going to be something like that. Yeah.
Midlife trucker Tom Bell says this is a good thermometer for what kind of a company you're at. They have 350 trucks, zero open. Owner is a driver.
Mm.
I worked for a small company like that in Lubbock that the owner would take loads out sometimes, and small companies seem to be really good. And if there's no empty trucks, he's probably doing something right.
Doing something
So,
right. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Doing something right. Absolutely. Taking care of his people. Yeah.
and they've told me if you ever want to come back, you could. At the time, my wife was dealing with some medical issues, and I made really good money. But by the time they took out the health insurance, I wasn't
Oh
making
yeah.
that great.
I can,
So,
and see, that was another thing for me, which I talked about in one of my trucker episodes. That last year, uh, I had two surgeries, and I had a surgery and kidney surgery in September. Then I had a back surgery in October. So I was out consistently for 4 months. I was out, and I thought to myself, man, what if I was in a lease purchase? I'd be done. I'd be done because and so fortunately for me, where I work, I was able to get short-term disability, and which was not a lot of money, but it's better than zero money. And we were barely able to skate by with that. And I was, man, I never thought I'd say this, but I was so ready to get back to work. I was ready to get back in the truck and make money, make a regular paycheck, which you're used to making, which everybody has different amounts. But man, 4 months of trying to heal and get better after two major surgeries, man, I was really thankful to get back in that driver's seat and be able to make money because they say you don't realize what you got till it's gone. And boy, I found out quick. And so, yeah, I was glad for that, particular reason that I was a company driver because I was covered, you know. So I was like, whew, man. So there's been times I wanted to jump ship and do the lease purchase thing. What was one of the companies there was a couple of guys that worked there that I talked to, and they're not there no more. And one of them was KLLM was one of them. And you don't see too many of their trucks down this way. You might see them once in a while because I go to Myrtle Beach and back. That's my dedicated route. And you see a few Swift trucks. I see those. I see more of those than anybody. And then you might see a JB Hunt here and there, a KLLM here and there, and but yeah, it's there's a couple others that you might see once in a blue moon, but yeah, it's I've talked to a couple of those guys, and they was like, yeah, just like what you said in the beginning, they was, yeah, it's great, man, you should come over here, and then 2 months later, they're like, man, I can't get a load, and I was like, wow, and I've been sitting here for 2 days, and I was like, man, so I stayed where I was at, and I'm glad I did, just for
I
me.
think that's the real advantage to what you're doing right now. I see guys at a lot of companies, even at Swift, some of them are having trouble getting loads, staying moving, and
Yeah.
you've got
Yeah.
consistent freight pulling that milk. So
Oh yeah.
uh,
Yeah. You're
you're worth.
working every day. Yeah.
And my
Yeah.
aha moment was during COVID. I saw, trucking companies were going under, drivers were struggling. I was working for Roadrunner doing LTL, and we started hauling rubber gloves and hand sanitizer.
Oh yeah.
And I
Yeah.
made some of the best money I've ever made during
Yeah.
COVID,
Yeah.
but I felt bad because I saw a lot of people really struggling during that time. Okay, folks, have we got any more questions while we got Joe here? I've still got to drive tonight, so if we don't have a lot, we may cut this one pretty short.
Are you getting unloaded by any chance?
No,
Okay.
no, but what the reason the truck is shaking? I've got auto start stop on,
Oh, okay.
and so the truck started a little bit ago and
Okay.
cooled it off in here, and then when it died, the truck shook a little bit, but
Okay.
and
I said, man, is he getting loaded or unloaded? What made you, if I can ask this, what made you? I won't ask about any other companies, but
oh, you
okay.
can, it's okay.
How many companies were you looking at before you finally chose Swift?
So when I got mad at Dart, and my wife is probably the only one that can verify this, I had over 60 companies that emailed me, and there were some of them that was dead on arrival because of where I live and things like that. That's what wipes a company out more than anything is living in Lubbock. I mean, JB Hunt and Schneider don't hire for my area unless your team or
Oh,
you get some kind of special dedicated. So it's really hard to find a lot of trucking companies that are willing to take you in my area. And if they do, they say, "Oh, we want you to stay out 4 to 6 weeks at a time." And there's
Golly, man.
times when I might do that, but I don't want to commit to that because four
Yeah,
to six weeks turns into 10 to 12, and
yeah. That was always another deterrent for me. I was at a warehouse getting unloaded, cold storage warehouse. Excuse me. I was taking some ice cream over there. This was early one morning, and there was a KLLM truck a few doors down from me, and he got out of his truck he was checking, I guess just checking. He was waiting to get loaded. He was checking his stuff out. And I was walking around out there because I was like, if I'm getting loaded, I want to walk for a minute to get my legs moving. And I walked over to him and I said, hey man, I don't mean to bother you. I said, but how do you like it over there? Down here we call it Clem. And how do you like it at Clem? He said, he goes, yeah, it's all right, it's all right. And I said, they still got a sign-on bonus over there? Yeah, they still do. I said, how long are you out? And he said, I'm not kidding. That's what he said. He goes, I don't know, 10, 12 weeks. I said, what? I said, 10 or 12
wow,
weeks. And he said, yeah. He said, you got to make them truck payments, player. That's what he said. Got to make them truck payments, player.
wow,
I said, not me. I turned around and went back to my truck. And
wow.
it was, I thought, there's no way I'd want to stay out there like that. You
Yeah,
know,
I met a KLLM driver that they were talking about. And this was years ago, but it's always stuck in my head. They said I was in the hole for 6 weeks, and if they did everything right that week, they were going to get a check for $183. And I was like, oh no, that's $183 in 7 weeks. There's no way.
no,
But
no.
Midlife has a question for you.
Sure.
He wants to know what kind of camera you're using for your series. It's just your
Yeah, just this right here, my smartphone. That's what it is right there.
What kind of phone is that?
It's the this is an older one. It's a Samsung Galaxy 10 Plus, and it has the stylus pen on it right there that you can, if you want to pop it out
Oh,
and
that's
use it.
cool.
But that's it. It's actually yeah, I've had it for I don't know a few years now, and recently just paid. Me and my wife have the same phone. I just recently paid them off right before Christmas. And
I don't know why I thought you were using iPhone.
no. I've always been an Android guy. I don't.
Ah, okay. I don't
Yeah,
know why I had that
we
in my
talked about that before. We don't. I don't care for iPhones. I mean, they're nice, but I don't think the operating system is real user friendly for what I like to do.
Yeah. So this guy wants to know about Road Legends lease purchase, zero down, no balloon, T680. Have you heard of them? I have. I've actually got a friend that works there. My friend Corey works there, and he's pretty happy. I just got off the phone with him the other day, and he said that he'll have one good week and one not so good week, kind of back and forth. But I think that's more of the economy than the company. Do you have any thoughts on them, Joe?
I do not. I have not heard of them. To tell you the truth, I have not heard of them. But I do know Skyline. He says he wishes Crete had a lease purchase, and they had a terminal in Spartanburg. They might still have one. I remember that Crete was there, and England, was it England Trucking? I think, didn't they have like some kind of legal issues a while back or something?
Hmm.
Some major things. They might have. I still see some of those trucks once in a blue moon. I see them, but not like I used to. But they had a terminal in Spartanburg. Crete did. I remember going to talk to them years ago, and the lady's like, well, because the one thing I looked at was the cars that were parked, the drivers or their personal vehicles. And a buddy of mine had went with me. We both went together to the Crete office/terminal in Spartanburg, and I said, man, these cars look like they've been parked here a long time. He said, man, this is what he said. He said, sometimes when you drive a truck, it depends on the situation. He says, but sometimes that car will be parked so long you'll see grass growing underneath it. I said, wow, that's a long time. I said, I don't think I want to be in the truck that long. But
Yeah.
but
Road Legends also, they pretty much primarily run east of I-35, so that makes them a no-go for me for sure. Crete comes to Lubbock quite a bit, and I don't believe they have a lease purchase, but they will take you if you've already got your own truck.
oh,
Um,
okay.
and so I think Warner's the same way. I don't think Warner has a lease right now, but if you've got your own truck, they've got a load board and stuff over there as well.
So what
Um,
with Swift? What was the deciding factor for you to go with Swift
the
over?
economy, I saw a lot of small and medium sized companies that were going under right now. And my freight rates, I was at Dart running the spot market on a 70/30 split, and I went from making really good money
Hmm.
to making okay money because the rates had dropped so much. And it worked out that the way things were at that time, I ended up making about 25 or 30 cents a mile more at Swift, because it's not just the rates, it's the paid base plates, it's the paid tolls, it's the paid deadhead miles, it's all the other stuff you get that you don't get when you run the spot market. And like I've said, that could all change tonight. There could be a war somewhere in the world, and rates could shoot up tomorrow morning. And if they did, then you'd see me advocating to Swift, hey,
Yeah.
let's have a percentage plan,
Right.
or some of these other companies might look real attractive. But
Right.
it was just, I wanted a little security, and I figured going with the largest trucking company, well, depending on if you count UPS or not, uh, I uh, I wanted to go somewhere where I knew there was going to be a solid freight base,
Right.
and the mileage rate's the advantage now. And like I said, that could change any day now. Nobody knows. Might not change for 5 years. And you can go back and look at my first Swift videos, and I say in there, I'm not saying I'm going to be here for 30 years, but
Right.
I'm saying for right now, it made sense to do it. Let's see
Right.
who else we got here. He Midlife says he's a company driver until he returns.
Mm. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, like I
It's
said, man, there's everybody likes what they like, and it's just kind of it's just the kind of the I don't want to say the hand I've been dealt, but I think I've been very fortunate, to tell you the truth. 'Cause like I said, there's been times I was thought about going to a mega carrier, and I just said, let me just stick it out here a little bit longer because it's a union job and all that, and you just can't find that anywhere. So I'm glad I stuck it out.
Midlife says Night Swift is the fourth largest now. JB took third. It
Ooh.
wouldn't surprise me, but they all claim to be the biggest. It's kind of like, let me give you this example. Uh, Several YouTubers here at Swift were bragging about they're the largest YouTuber at Swift, and it really depends on which analytic you look at. There's a If you look pure subscribers, there's guys that's bigger than me. If you look at views and things like that, there's areas where I'm the biggest. And so it depends on, and I think that's probably true in trucking too. If
Right.
you're looking at total equipment, or if you're looking at drivers, or if you're looking at annual revenue, I mean, there's just a lot of factors you could look at. All of those things are important. It just depends on what's important to you. Let's see. Midlife says you weren't lucky, you weren't fortunate. You researched and picked the best company.
Who, me?
Yeah,
Or oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it was.
there
I
was a
think.
little luck there because you fell into that one deal.
Yeah, I think luck had a little bit to do with it because and timing. I think timing has a lot to do with things. But I also believe, for me, that things happen for a reason. And the guy that told me, he goes, that told me about where I work now, he said, I'm going back over there and reapplying. And we just happened to be standing at the same spot because it was pouring down rain at the old place we used to work. And we were, he brought it up and he said, you should come over there and apply. And I thought, yeah, man, I'm working for a dairy company. I don't know. He said, you should do it. He said, it's better than here. And I said, what have I got to lose? So I went, and it worked out.
It's like that saying goes, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a buddy of mine tell me, he said, I'd rather be lucky than good any day. And I said, well, I guess it all depends on how you look at it. You know, um, he told you about it because you were networking. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's true. I was starting to kind of look for something else because, like you said, when you were at your other place, Dart, I believe, and they had
Hmm.
different CEOs. That happened at the concrete company that I used to work at because they had different people, and they came in there and they said no more overtime. If you're, and this is no kidding, if you're 1 minute late clocking in, you're gonna get rode up. And I thought, 1 minute late? I was like, well, what if you have a flat tire on the way to work, or if there's an accident and you can't get through? And the guy was like, tough. That's tough. That's the way it is. So there were times I was coming to work, and I was like, I'm gonna be late. I turned around, went back home, and I called in sick. It's either call in sick or get rode up. And that was because they had new management at that concrete company. And look what happened when the recession hit in '08, and that concrete company, a few years later, they were gone. And now a major concrete company has taken that property over. Now it's Concrete Supply. Concrete Supply is all over the place. And so I got out of there at the right time and got where I'm at now. And so yeah, it worked it worked out. But like I said, trucking has been good for me, man. I mean, I couldn't imagine working somewhere, and I'm not putting this down. I'm just saying, for me, I couldn't imagine working a different job where you got somebody looking over your shoulder, or messing with you all day. Did you get that done over there? Yes. Okay. When you get done, go over here and do. I don't want to hear all that.
I got one more question about your music. I know you also write some songs.
Sure.
Have you wrote any truck driving songs?
Well, I mean, when people say truck driving music, they automatically go back to the '70s with that.
Yeah,
with the older, doom, 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 with the old kind of gallop kind of rhythm. No, far as that, no. As far as just writing, doing my own silly thing, yeah. But it was so long ago. And I did it with a buddy of mine named Jim Guidry. He lives out of Shreveport, and he played drums on it. We did some work together on some songs, some original stuff, and he would send me his drum track, and I would just put some music with it, and we had a lot of fun doing that. And yeah, there was a couple I did, but it was just for fun, But
that's fun.
About far as that went,
So you're not the next C.W. McCall or
No.
Jerry Reed or nothing like that.
No, I'm not the next anything, man. No.
J.B. Hunt has the largest poor truck maintenance out there. I have friends that work there. They always complain about their trucks.
Oh,
Wait till
man.
Thursday night. I'll tell you some stories about the
Oh,
Swift maintenance department.
all right.
I think they're rivaling JB Hunt. I've had some experiences today that
Oh, no.
I'll tell you about on Thursday night. Wow.
I remember you
Yeah.
talking about getting your windshield replaced. Was that a smooth transition, or was that?
It depends on what your definition of smooth is. It, I feel like Bill Clinton now.
Wait a minute,
I
that-
just went to his
That
presidential
that deserves one of these. There we go. Okay. There we go.
Yeah. Oh
Oh,
man.
oh.
So the windshield. First of all, it's the first time I've ever been in the hole with Swift.
Oh,
I was
wow.
supposed to go there and T-call my load, which I'd have went ahead and got paid for it, and I wouldn't have been in the hole. But they fixed it so quick that I didn't end up T-calling it. I said, well, I'll just deliver it. So it was a good thing, but it was the first time I was in the hole with Swift. But they put it in, and they hit the little lane sensing camera up there that
Oh,
tells it if you're in lane or not.
yeah.
And so my intermittent wipers didn't work, and
Oh,
a
no.
lot of stuff. So they had to go in there and do it again. And it they didn't fix my seat. I had a seat that wouldn't inflate, so it would sit on the ground all the time.
Oh,
And so I
man.
ended up having to get routed back through there and get that stuff fixed. But yeah, they fixed it good. It just and it's a good shop. If you guys need repairs, they're fast because they're not very busy.
Mm-hmm.
But that just I think they said they had done a bunch of them, but it has that big box in the center of the windshield, and I think
Yeah, we
it
have
was
those.
probably one of those
Yeah,
first
yeah,
ones.
that lane detection warning system. Oh my gosh, man.
And SafeLight wouldn't even do it. I'd originally taken it to SafeLight, and SafeLight had said, we're not doing it." And so
Oh, really?
that Oklahoma City said, "Well, we'll do it if you bring it by here." And I haven't had any leaks or problems, so they did do a good job. But just that camera kind of threw them for a loop. Let's see here
And that was at the Swift terminal
in Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay. Okay.
which is technically my home terminal. I've only been there 3 times.
Oh,
I'll be working at Crete until Todd can get me on board with Swift on the lease purchase division. Waiting on Michelle to call me. Um, Skyline, have you emailed me your contact information? I called Michelle about 3 or 4 people today, and I can call her about you tomorrow if you'll if you've sent me your stuff. I'll go in there and pull it out. But if you hadn't, send me your name and your phone number, and I'll jump on it. Since you're not using your real name on here, it's hard for me to know if I've talked to you or not. But I'll try to help you either way. Let's see, what else have we got? It's showing on my side that we've got one thumbs up. If everybody gets a chance, go hit that thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed so that you'll receive notifications when YouTube wants you to.
that's right.
They were kind of slow tonight, but we got them out as quick as we
Yeah, that
could.
I did get a notification, but it came. It was I think you see YouTube is funny about that sometimes. That sometimes they go out like they're supposed to, sometimes they're really slow, and sometimes they don't go out at all. And
They've been doing some stuff like pulling my comments and putting them back in there, and I have to go in there and manually add my comments back in. It's been unsubscribing people, and
yeah, it'll
people
do
will
that
say,
sometimes. The
it,
algorithm is so weird.
yeah,
It's
you have
just
to go in there and check and make sure you're still subscribed.
yeah,
Skyline says he'll shoot me an email. All right, man, I'll sure try to help you as soon as I get that email. We'll figure out what's going on. But yeah, it for a while I was in the algorithm pretty good, and I don't know what's going on lately. It seems like since I've done these lives, I've kind of fallen out of the algorithm a little bit. I need to do some more recorded videos.
yeah. That's one thing I wish that I knew about the algorithm with YouTube, but that's just something that I'll never figure that out. I've
Well, I
tried so
actually
many
read a
different
book,
things.
or I say read a book. I did an audible on how the YouTube algorithm works and all, and
Hmm.
I've got a decent idea of how it works. Nobody knows the exact recipe,
Right,
but
right, right.
I've got an idea of how it works, and but it's something else because I don't understand why they remove my comments that people make, or some of them will just fall through the cracks and I'll never see them. And I tell people if they don't see one of my, if I don't respond to you, email me back or send me another comment and I'll get it because sometimes they fall through the cracks. And that's why I make my email so available to everybody.
Yeah, when
But
I first started watching your channel, you were still working at Dart over there,
yeah,
and when I first, it just popped up on my feed. I mean, just because I, I watch a few different YouTube trucking channels from time to time because I like to mix it up. And there used to be a lot of them I used to watch very frequently, and I kind of said, eh. And then I would move over here and watch some of these, and I'll move over in this direction. And then yours just popped up. It just said Trucker Todd, and I was like, Trucker Todd. I was like, I've never seen him before, and I started watching it, and you were still at Dart, and I've been watching ever since. So yeah,
there's there's a
I was
lot of people that think I'll end up at Dart again one day, but I just don't know. We got some trust issues now. I don't see a situation where I'd go back there, but I'll never say never.
well,
Uh, do what?
they've been around quite a while, hadn't they? Dart.
I think 80 something years.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of their truck and trailers in the out here in the southeast, and they say freight is dead out here right now, and
Mm,
so that's another reason why I'm where I'm at. I don't have to worry about that.
I
You know.
just passed through there, I think last night, but it was like in the middle of the night. I was going to call you, but I couldn't get off the phone.
Oh, that's all
Midlife
right.
says I have 10 thumbs up. I
And that
appreciate that, everybody.
and that can go up too, because when you get done with this live, you'll have people watch it later on.
Yeah, I usually get 500 or 600 the first 24 hours, and then it
Yeah,
grows from there.
that's
But
good, man.
anywhere from 25 to 75 usually while we're live, and then
Yeah,
we're kind of on the low side tonight. But I think the notifications were kind of jicky tonight,
yeah,
so
yeah.
no problem. But have you got anything else you want to ask me, or anybody in the comments got something for either
Do
one of
you?
us?
I think I know the answer to this, and I think you've touched on it, but I can't be 100% sure. So, doing a lease purchase with Swift anyway, do you do they? This is going to be stupid, but do you use their fuel card or do you have your own or do they take it? How does that work with the
I
fuel?
use a combination of all. They have a fuel card with a terrible discount, and so I don't use it very often. I use it like at the terminals, and occasionally I'll use it out on the road if there's a mom and pop place that I want to use. I also use the Mudflap app, and there's a code in the description of my video for anybody that wants that. You get $10 worth of free fuel if you use that code.
Hmm.
And I use, uh, let's see what else. I use the app Fuel Book. So I do the terminals, Fuel Book, Mudflap, and then I have ES Advantage, which that link's also in the description. And ES Advantage, 80 or 90% of the time is the cheapest. One guy that worked at Landstar called me the other day, and we were comparing in Dallas, and he was cheaper in Dallas. So
Mm.
that he's the first person that's been cheaper than me when we compared. But that ES Advantage has been a money saver. It usually saves me about 1,300 a month off the pump. And so
Oh, that's
let's
awesome.
see. Joe's video popped up as a recommended.
Oh, awesome.
Ah, so you're in the algorithm
That's
better than you thought you were.
I didn't know that. Thank you, Tom. Thanks for letting me know that. It was nice, man. Thank you.
Skyline says his notification was delayed 15 minutes after
There
we
you
went
go.
live.
There you
I
go.
think a
So,
lot of people were because I
yeah,
noticed at about the 15-minute mark, the
right.
live went way up.
Yeah. See
So
there?
I,
Yeah.
I don't know why YouTube does that. I've shared the trucker number one with a couple of dozen people. Excellent editing. I wish my videos. Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
wow. Thank you, man. Thank you very much for
Me
sharing
too.
that. Thank you, Tom. That's very kind of you, sir. Yeah. Episode one, like I said, has that long intro, but it was done like that on purpose. But the other ones, and from here on out, they won't have that long intro. Just a little piece of it.
Remember, I told you after I saw, uh, after he did his first one, he asked me what I thought, and
And we
I
talked
told
on
him,
the
I said,
phone. Yeah, we
I
talked
said,
on
I
the
think
phone.
it's going to be big, and he's like, I don't know, and
Yeah, I'm still that. I'm like, I don't know, man, because I've tried so many things on this channel, on my channel. I've tried so many different things, and the one thing that I've never messed with is trucking. Because this channel, rather, excuse me, this channel is focused around music and around guitars and stuff, but I said, I've never really talked about trucking, and I've been doing that since I was 25 years old. I said, I wonder how that will go over. Will people like that? Or will they be like, he doesn't work for a mega carrier, so don't give him the time of day. Well, like I said, a trucker is a trucker. We're all dealing with the same issues. You might go a little further than me, and then some days I might go further than you. But I think we're still dealing with the same thing at the end of the day, and that's driving a truck. And we're having to obey the same laws, and we go through the same scale houses, and I deal with the same inspections and everything else as anybody else does. So yeah.
I think you found a good mix though, because you put just enough music in there and just
Yes.
enough trucking in there. I
That's what.
think you've got something there. I really do.
Well, I appreciate it. I hope so. My a friend of mine told me the same thing 2 nights ago. He told me the same thing. So I'll just have to just keep the fingers crossed, man. But it's a roll of the dice, man. Roll of the dice.
Midlife says when he was leasing, he used RTS Pro, XPO, Mudflap, and
Oh wow.
TSD
Oh
Open
okay.
Roads. Yeah, those are all real popular fueling ways to go too. Skyline says after the show, he's going to subscribe to Joe. So
Oh,
there you
thank you,
go.
thank you, Skyline. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much, or ma'am. I don't know, but thank you very much.
Get
Thank you.
ready to binge watch a lot of videos because it's kind of addictive. I like it. I really do.
Oh, thank you, man. You're too
It's one
kind.
of my favorite things to watch.
Oh my goodness.
Can't be a one-trick pony. You have to plan the trips for fuel. Then when you find it cheap, fill both tanks, your bucket and your pocket.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Uh,
And luckily, I've never had to worry about that where I work. But A friend of mine, he used to work where I do. He worked for the dairy company for 6.5 years, and we talked on the phone all the time. And when he was working there, and I remember his name's Ricky, and a great friend of mine. And he told me, he said, Joe, one of these days, man, I'm going to get me a truck of my own. And he used to work for, I forget the little company he worked for, but they would go back and forth to California and back, from Spartanburg to California and back. And he was used to doing that. And then he came to work where I'm at now. And he worked there for 6.5 years. And then he always had good credit. That's another thing that I've been working on myself, is credit. And so I, it took me a long time to get that built back up. And but he went and got him a truck, and he got him a KW, and he started working for a place in Spartanburg called Blue, Belue, I think, Blue Trucking. And he was hauling like tires and doing whatever. He did that for, man, I don't know, a few years. And then he got his own authority. And then I think it was last year he finally got his dream Peterbilt truck. He ordered it from the factory, went and picked it up,
Wow.
and it is beautiful. And so he's still, I talk to him once in a while. He'll call me because I'm always out on the road in the middle of the night when I'm, I'm just on vacation this week. But we talk, and he tells me where he's going and how things are. He asked about, how's it still over at the milk business. I said, man, you ain't missing nothing. It's the same drama, just like you have at any other place. But yeah, I was so happy for him, because I seen him go from each level. He said, I'm getting closer, and man, he did it, man. So if you really focus and go for what you want, it can be done. Especially with getting a truck, I was like, wow, he did it.
So Tom is suggesting you block him. He's going to steal your ideas.
Dude, you're not. Please do. I call it being influenced. I mean, we all have influences. Just like with music, with guitar playing. You can't really see it on this side of the wall right here, but there's a banner and it says EVH. That stands for Eddie Van Halen. And he was one of my biggest influences on guitar. So I ripped off a lot of his licks and riffs, but I can't play like him identically. I just can't. I play like me. But yeah, man, that's cool. I mean, I've done that. Like I said earlier, I've watched other YouTube channels, and I watch mainly the two things I watch on a channel. The two things that I pay attention to. Number one is the audio quality. Number two is the editing. How is their editing? And that's, and when you go to edit a video, it takes time. It takes a lot more than if you want it to be good. It takes time, to get it done where it looks decent. But yeah, man, please take all the ideas you want. I find that humbling myself.
Just
Really.
a quick side note too. If this video ends, my laptop wasn't charging, and so
Oh,
we're down to a very low percentage.
uh-oh.
It's a brand new laptop. We're about to find out which is
Oh,
faster,
Lord.
my charger or my laptop.
Well, we better get off here then, man.
It's okay. It's more fun this way. People wait. I was having technical difficulties. I know you could probably see me in the background before the show. Laptop kept freezing up, and
Oh,
that's
not.
half the fun is seeing when this train wreck will happen.
No, man, no.
Tom says, don't pay off your house. Your credit score will dive for a year afterwards.
Oh, Tom, I can tell you, I've been through some tough times in my life. One was a divorce, and lost a house and land, and we had settled out of court, but she failed to follow up on her end, and so it fell on me. And I was told that stuff stays on your score for 7 years, but they had it on mine for 10. And so it wasn't that long ago it finally fell off. And it's taken me a long time to build my credit back up to a decent level. It's not nowhere near perfect, but it's a lot better than what it used to be. But yeah, I try to stay on top of stuff now, but I know what you're saying. If you don't pay your stuff, you'd be in trouble. Be in trouble.
Yeah, yeah, and it feels rigged because my credit score got up to one of the highest levels it had ever been a month or two ago, and it's starting to go down again. And I haven't done anything different. I've still got everything on auto pay.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So it feels rigged, but I don't know. Levi wants to know if I do these shows on the road. Yeah, I'm on the road right now. I'm actually in Mississippi right now.
Oh wow.
The
Okay.
background is not real. This is so you guys don't see how messy my sleeper is.
That's okay, man. Hey, technology, use it to your advantage.
Exactly. Never work more than 5 days in a row without a day off.
Well,
That's a nice gig if you can get it.
I'm lucky to, right now. I'm lucky to have that, but I know what it's like to have to work 6 and 7 days. It's horrible. I hated it.
Well, and people don't realize what a grind YouTube is. Even when I'm off, I'm not
Oh
off.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
If you're,
phone calls, editing
oh
videos,
yeah. It's a constant.
research for shows.
It's a second job, really. You know.
Uh-oh, this one's going to be, Joe's going to love this.
Oh,
Eddie who? That's what my daughter says.
Yeah, that's. Hey, I totally get it, Tom. I get it. Yeah, I totally get it. And people that are young now, they have no idea who that is, and it's to be understandable. You know, I totally get it. I totally get
I
it.
blame the parents. We should be teaching our kids who Eddie Van Halen is.
Especially if they're going to be a guitar player. Yeah, I mean, you know.
If your kids don't know who Eddie Van Halen is, you have failed as a parent. And
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Or
yeah,
Jimi
you need
Hendrix.
to.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, if you don't know who Jimi Hendrix is, maybe
oh
there was
man.
a failure at some point in your life. You should immediately go to Spotify and learn about these artists.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Music nowadays is I do not like it.
I'm
He's
working on the audio. I've gotten a lot
a
better.
lot better. Yeah. Yeah. It's just it's a work in progress, man. I can go back to my old videos from 5 years ago, and I'll look and I'm like, well, not that I do that, but if I have in the past, and I'll take a stroll down memory lane, and sometimes I look, and first of all, I'm like, what am I wearing? You know, and I'm like, what was I thinking? And why does that is horrible? But at the time, I thought it was good. But the thing I do enjoy about YouTube is if you stay consistent with what you're doing with your content, with whatever it is, trucking, music, whatever, and if you have a passion for what you're doing, you'll see improvement over time, and you can go back and watch them old videos, and you can say, yeah, like I'll go back and watch a song that I was trying to cover, and I'll say, okay, that was 3 years ago. I think I could do better than that now because it's been 3 years. I think I can handle it better, and then I'll attempt it, and I do. So that's good. That's good. That shows progress. You know, so YouTube is great for that. I call it your video diary. You know.
It's funny because people will ask me a question on a video I did 3 or 4 years ago, and I won't remember, so I'll have to go back and watch the video. And I'm like, oh, that's terrible. I can't believe anybody watched that. But you do, you improve over time.
Yeah, you do, and yeah, and that, like I said, that's a good thing, man. That's a good thing. Progress.
Skyline says he's in Minooka, Illinois. They have a sign that says if you have road rage, Illinois police have handcuffs.
Ooh, wow. There you go.
Give you a
Man.
cooling off place, a safe space.
Yeah, and see, our trucks only go 65, and I was coming down 20 the other night, heading to the beach, and I just happened to be coming downhill, and I was loaded, so I was getting it. I was hitting about 72. Speed limit is 70, but I'm governed at 65. So once I leveled out, and I'm in the right lane, okay, I'm in the right lane, and I see this little car behind me, and he's beeping his horn, he's bright lighting me, and I'm like, dude, really? And there was traffic on the left, and he finally shoots around. He comes up, meep, 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 and he does this. He leans over and does this, and he's probably in his early 20s. And I'm like, dude, you're the a-hole. You know, I'm in the correct lane. You see that all the time, all the time. People don't realize when these trucks are governed. You know, you can't, and I can't stand it. I wish they would run at least 70, but that company's
Well,
not going to do that.
Some companies will put a sign on the back door, this truck is governed at 60 or 70, but
Not ours, man. They
not
won't do
ours
that.
either.
They won't do that. They
That's
won't do that.
and I worked for Swift when the trucks ran 57. I've been flipped off more than
Oh man. Whew.
in 96 they ran 57, and I remember
Oh
when they
man.
turned them up to 60, we thought we were going to get nosebleed.
My
We were so
goodness.
excited to get to go 60.
Yeah.
And now people gripe about being governed at 70.
Oh
But
man, I'd love to have that truck at 70, but you know, it is what it is.
Tom says he runs 6, takes a 34, runs 6, and then goes
And
home.
go home.
You're living the dream, man.
There you go. There you go.
I introduced my daughter to Sir Elton John in Atlanta one day. All she said is he had weird glasses. Well, it depends which Elton John. Like 70s, definitely. He
Yeah,
had
that's
some.
yeah, that's if it's the younger Elton John, absolutely, yeah.
He's kind of cooled it a little bit. Although I seen him in a pretty flamboyant suit the other day.
Yeah, it's
Let's see.
I don't know.
What kind of money do you average at Swift a week after everything is paid?
Hmm.
So that's a tough question because I average about 2,500 a week. However, I've got my own fuel card. I've got my own insurance.
Right.
I've been doing this for many, many years, so I'm pretty good at it. But I know a lot of people that are in the 1,800 to 2,500 range. I know
Mm-hmm.
a few people that are in the 2,500 to 3,000 range.
Wow.
It's being an independent contractor, starting your own business. It's going to be different for everybody. It's going to depend on you. It's going to depend on your equipment, and so uh, that's why I say all that to say there's people here doing a lot better than me, and there's people here doing a lot worse than me.
Yeah.
And I try to help everybody as much as I can, but some of it's just going to depend on circumstances. Like we was talking about, if you have something happen at home, or if you have a lemon truck,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how good you are. I had two breakdowns at Dart within a few months of each other that were
Oh my
3 weeks
goodness.
apiece, and
Yeah.
it nearly bankrupted
I
me. It
remember
was
you
waiting
talking
on
about
parts.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it and I like to think I'm pretty good at it, but it pretty near got me. Now here at Swift, this truck hadn't broke down hardly at all, so I've been able to do really well here. But
Are they pretty good about working with you on maintenance things with your truck? Like getting you in there quick to get things fixed, or do you find yourself waiting or
so it depends on the shop. It's best to get an appointment if you're going to go to a Swift shop. Um, since mine's warranty stuff, I try to go to dealers, but I haven't really. The only thing I've had was the seat, really, and it's a warranty item, but they said it was going to take several days to get the part, so I just had them switch the driver's seat and passenger seat, and so technically now my passenger seat needs fixing.
hmm,
Let's see here. Skyline says server went down. Oh no, I hope everybody can still hear me.
I haven't seen no interruption in anything.
Maybe it was his server.
It might have been, yeah.
Our trucks are governed at 70 miles per hour, but I have new drive time. That's awesome.
Oh,
That's awesome. And there's places in this country, I probably don't need to advertise them on here, that will adjust your tire size in your computer to where your truck will run faster,
oh,
or they'll outright remove the governor.
oh,
If
oh.
that's something you're interested in, email me and I'll tell you where you can go. But I, it wouldn't be a Tuesday night if I didn't say something that got me in trouble. But
Oh my goodness.
and just for
Oh,
the safety department and the guys that want to call and tell on me, I have not done that to my truck. Uh,
oh.
and these are purely speculative. I've never been to any of these places, but in theory, there's places in Effingham, Illinois, that will help you out.
Todd went
But I've
past me one time. When Todd went past, this is all you hear. I said, "There goes Todd." He's gone. No, I'm just kidding.
nah, that now
Uh,
in days of yore, I had trucks that might have visited there, but
oh yeah,
I know
yeah,
somebody's going to
yeah.
call safety and snitch on me, and
No,
they can check my
I'm just,
truck.
I'm just
I
aggravating.
haven't modified anything. Remember when TMC went 62?
Oh,
Yeah, they had those big 379 Pete's and
wow.
those
Yeah.
slowest trucks on the road. Well, they
My,
weren't the slowest. I was doing 57.
they still do. They still do. They might do 64 now. I don't know. But when I get behind TMC, I can barely pass them. So I'm thinking
And
they're,
Prime's at like
yeah,
64,
yeah.
65, I
It
think.
takes me forever, but I still get around them.
By the way, I've got a guy that's wanting to come on here and talk about Prime. You guys let me know either in the comments or in the emails if y'all are interested in hearing about Prime. We're talking about maybe me going on his show and talking about Swift and him coming on here and talking about Prime. But I want to know if that's something y'all are interested in.
Wow, that'd be cool. Oh, see
Hello, I
there?
just got the
Yeah,
notification.
see there?
Yeah,
There you go, right
uh,
there. And
that's frustrating.
we've been on for over an hour and a half, and he just got it.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm sorry, Steve. I think that happens a lot. I think that's why I get so many in the rebroadcast later. And I've got a lot of people that they're driving and they say, "Hey, I watch you after I get parked," or "I binge watch you on the weekend." So it's no hard feelings. I'm glad you're here now. Let's see. I did a 15-week test drive of the Lease at Christensen, so you don't have to. I documented showing every statement. You know, a few weeks ago when I got mad at Swift, that was one of the companies I looked at, and at first I was like, "Ooh, this is pretty good," and then the more I looked, I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." So if I can find your channel, I'll go watch later and kind of see your journey there. But yeah, I don't think I'll be going there, especially now that I bought a truck. I'll either lease it on to Swift or I'll take it somewhere else.
That's what I'm looking forward to see what happens with that. Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, just skip that jerk. Yeah.
Shorts, I got all of them. I've never even had a cavity, but
Oh man, people crazy.
thanks for your concern. I'm always worried when adult men are concerned about the appearance of other men. I don't know if Shorts is attracted to me or why he's so concerned about my appearance, but
Oh man.
I appreciate your concern, Shorts. I've never even had a cavity. Let's see. Prime versus Swift comparisons would be great.
There you go.
Yeah, we may do that. Not a confrontational video, but just here's what this company offers. Here's what this company offers, and I think we're going to set that up. He's a real nice guy. He used to live in Lubbock, and we're going to see when we can do it. The problem we've got is he wants to ask me a lot of questions about Swift that I don't know the answers to, like the truck driving schools, the training, tanker, flatbed. He wants a lot more knowledge than what I've got right now. So I've got to do some research because you don't want to watch a video of me saying I don't know, I don't know, and I don't want a video of me making stuff up because
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm good with 70, but 85 speed limits in Texas are interesting. Yeah, the places they've got 85-mile-an-hour speed limits, it's safe. I know that sounds crazy, but there's nothing out there. And of course, if you're doing 85 in a truck, you're probably going to get about 3 miles a gallon. So that's probably not a great thing. Prime company drivers do 65 or 62, Lease at
Yeah.
65.
Wow.
So there you
Okay.
go.
Interesting.
Thanks, Willie. I appreciate that. I'm trying to let conflicting opinions in here. I realize that there's some people that I'm not their cup of tea, and that's fine. They can still come in, and we can agree to disagree. But uh, that's a silly question that he asked me that's been floating around the internet foreverwhere. And
Mm-mm-mm.
anyway, we'll keep going. We can put your Volvo at Crete. I'll be your driver. You're the second person that's asked me that today.
Wow. Look at
A
there.
good friend of mine emailed or called me yesterday or today, and he's down in Houston, and he was wanting to use my Volvo at the ports down there.
Wow.
And I told him, I said, well, I've got to do a few little things to it, and then I think I might be driving it, or I may leave it. I've got it in an enclosed storage deal now, or
Yeah.
well, it's like a carport thing. and
Yeah.
it's not hurting me to sit there. I don't know if I'm gonna put it to work or leave it there, but it's like having an ace in the hole. It's nice to have it. It's
Hey,
nice to have it if you ever need it.
I wish I could say that. That's nice, man. There you go. Oh, that's pretty
He's
good.
called shorts because he's short some teeth. Just wanted to compare.
Hey.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where that comes from. I do have a little gap in the front. I've had it my whole life. My front tooth is broke from a weird story, but it's still all there. And I do need to go get. They glue a piece of plastic on there, and I do need to go get that done. But I do have all my teeth, and I've never even had a cavity, so I know where that came from. It's just
I
insane.
wish I could say that. I've had quite a
Yeah.
few cavities and had them filled, but oh
Uh,
my
and
goodness.
my day's probably coming. The older I get, the more likely that I'll
Yeah.
have a cavity. Swift destroyed my trucking career, Trucker Todd.
Oh.
Lots of companies are not accepting my application now.
Mm,
I have to leave my house and without health insurance. I wish I didn't return back.
mm.
I didn't know what happened. You say
Yeah.
they destroyed your trucking career. What happened?
Wow, man.
They've helped my trucking career. Even when I'm mad at them, I can't
Yeah,
say anything
I'd
bad
like
about
to
them.
know the answer to that. Yeah. What
Yeah, give
happened
us a
there?
little more
What
information,
what happened there, man?
and because I know a lot of good people there. If there's really something to it, I'll try to help you out. I made 1,600 a week average, but man, that 2023 Peterbilt 579 Ultra Loft was really nice. Yeah,
Ooh.
I bet that was at which company again? Do you remember which company Tom said he was at?
Uh, I do not. I'm sorry, I do not. I wanted to say prime, but I don't think that's correct.
No, I think he said. I think it was Crete.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Here's one. You could lease it on with Landstar. Up
Hmm.
until a couple of days ago, I was really negative towards Landstar.
Yeah, I ain't heard a
And
lot
I had
about
a
that.
guy call me and he convinced me Landstar is not a terrible company. So I won't say never now. Before I said never Landstar. Now I'm
Right.
saying maybe.
Yeah.
Prime will beat Swift on truck colors and terminals.
Hmm.
Um, that's a little subjective. Definitely on truck colors. Swift doesn't have as many colors as I'd like to see. Prime has, I believe, two terminals. The one I've been to the one in Springfield. It's super nice. But right now, Swift's in the process of refurbishing either all their terminals or most of their terminals, and they're not on the scale that the one in Springfield is. But there's 38 of them, so they're a lot easier to access.
Hmm.
I broke my front tooth on a fork at Olive
Olive
Garden.
Garden. Oh my goodness, man.
Oh man,
Oh
we can't
man.
talk about Olive Garden. There's none around here, and y'all gonna make me hungry. I've got a good old Arby's for here later tonight.
Oh, there you go. I always liked
It
Arby's.
just doesn't sound good.
Yeah. Hmm.
3 mile per gallon. I'm a company driver. Ah, okay. Yeah, we was talking about
Oh. Okay.
trucks that do 85, and I was joking when I said that. Obviously, it depends on how your truck's geared. Uh, I know that Volvo I've got, it runs really good at about 62 to 65. Once you get above that, the way because it's got 358 gears in it. Once you get above that, it really sucks it down. John wants to be a moderator. Yeah, but I got to get to know you first. I've got quite a few moderators, and I don't mind adding you, but I got to get to know you first. And this is the first time I've seen you in here.
Good decision. Good decision.
Henry Ford once said, "You can have any color you want as long as it's black." Yeah, Henry Ford, he's the man. He's got a lot of good sayings. Um,
Man.
that's when he did his first car. That you could have any color you want as long as it's black. Also, if you read about him, the crates that some of the car or parts for the cars were shipped in, he reused as part of the tub of the vehicle.
Oh.
So it
Wow.
was it was really neat the way that he
Huh.
did it. And of course, he didn't invent the assembly line, but a lot of people say he perfected it.
Right.
And so there's a lot of stuff. Even if you don't like Ford vehicles, Henry Ford's an interesting man to learn about. Terminals, I don't know because the terminals in Utah has a theater. I love that one. That's where I got my CDL. Yeah, so does the one in Phoenix,
Mm,
and I believe some of the other ones too have a theater and a gym and a laundry, and a lot of them. A lot of companies have gym and laundries, but
now which?
obviously the smaller Swift terminals don't. But the bigger ones have a theater, like in Phoenix.
Oh, okay. The Swift terminal has a theater. Wow. Okay.
And I guess Tom or Skyline's saying his company does too. Christensen Transportation in Stratford, Missouri. Yeah, yep. They've got the kind
Oh.
of maroon colored trucks.
Okay.
Let's see. Midlife says, I don't recommend Christensen, just say nice truck. Yeah, they're nice trucks, APUs,
Wow.
but they they seemed like, and this is just my perception, I've never driven 1 mile for them. They seem like one of those companies that would call you an owner operator, but in name only. They wanted to control you like a company driver. And that's just my perception from talking to them on the phone. Prime has 3 terminals, but it's not quantity. They have Starbucks, an indoor basketball court, and a
Wow.
spa.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. To the best of my knowledge, none of the terminals at Swift have a Starbucks.
Hmm.
The as far as the basketball court, I've actually uh, I've actually played basketball with the owner on that basketball court in Springfield, but that was many, many moons ago when I was a much younger guy,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
doubt very seriously
Yeah.
he remembers me. But the owner of Prime is a really nice guy.
I've
I
heard the
don't know
same.
about now.
Yeah.
He used to have an open door policy.
Yeah. I heard
You
that
could
too.
walk through the front door and talk to him directly if you had
Hmm.
an issue.
Yeah.
And I never had to do that, but I just happened to be in there playing basketball one day, and I shot baskets with him for a little bit.
Well.
He's a cool guy.
Wow. That's how many people can say that, man.
Yeah, yeah. But I know I'm gonna get fact checked, and a dozen of you'll go to his office and say, "Do you remember Trucker Todd?"
Oh my God.
And he's gonna go, "Well, no, that was 20 plus years ago. I don't remember Trucker Todd.
Oh my goodness.
Back then he was skinny and had hair. He doesn't even look the same." And so
Oh Lord.
let's
Man.
see here. They want to talk about your red guitar in the background.
Oh,
Looks
this one.
fantastic.
That one right there. That's thank you, Skyline. Yeah, that blue one and the red one are actually those are hard to find guitars nowadays. They are. It's called a Sterling sub, like when you sub to a YouTube channel. Sterling sub, and what makes these kind of hard to find? They still make them the newer models today, but these came out in I want to say the late '90s, early 2000s, and back then they only made two colors, the red and the blue, and I had the red one for I've had the red one for about maybe 6 or 7 years, and I just came across the blue one about a month ago, and I bought it. I saw it on a this site called Sweetwater. Sweetwater is a big site, music site. You can buy instruments and stuff. Sweetwater, and they have a site called Sweetwater Music Gear Exchange, and you can get people are selling used instruments. And I saw that blue one, and I knew that would complete the set. And I said, I've been looking for a blue one for years, and you cannot find it. And it was a good deal, and I got it. So now I have those two colors, and so yeah,
And
thank you, man.
the next time we bring Joe on, I'm going to get him to commit to playing us a guitar solo.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, I could definitely do it. It's no big deal. It's just I could have better quality if I use my other interface. You know.
Uh, 62 at Yellow, we have the slowest trucks on the road.
Oh my goodness.
Henry Ford is held up as a saint because he paid so well, but they forgot that he had security check worker houses for cleanliness. Yeah, Henry
Hmm.
Ford, he was like a lot of great people in history. He had his flaws. He was also a little bit of a womanizer,
Hmm.
if I remember correctly. But he definitely came along at the right time to innovate the assembly line, and he's had a lot of great sayings. And
Yeah.
so, if you get a chance to check him out, he is interesting.
Very smart. Smart man.
Christensen has EPUs, TV, microwave, inverter.
Hmm.
That stuff used to really impress me, but I've got all those things now. Well, I don't have an EPU, but I got a TV, a microwave, inverter. I've got one of the new Atari systems in here. I've
Oh,
got an Xbox, a gaming laptop,
wow.
and a Nintendo Switch. I
Good.
never get to play any of them, but I've got them all in here, taking up space
Hey, you got
and
them if you
making
need
it
them.
makes it almost impossible to walk in here. But I've got all of those things.
You never know, man.
Let's see.
Come in handy.
Rob Lowe, which is the owner of Prime,
Right.
plays there every day with drivers. I didn't know if he
Oh,
still
wow.
did, but about
Wow.
20 years ago he did. Yeah, he.
Wow.
Now, if you come up with something bogus, he's going to tell you to go through chain of command. But if you come up to him with a real issue, he's a good guy, and he's pretty pro driver. I've
Wow.
actually been to his house. They took us. I didn't go inside, but they drove us out there in their little shuttle van, and I would live in his horse stables. Those horse stables were nice. I don't know if he lives in the same house now, but he's got a very nice place out there. They drove us out there, and they said this is where he lives. And wow, what a place! Big old ranch with he's got a huge horse stable and really nice house, and so he's doing good. I don't think he's waiting for his next subsidy check.
Wow.
That's nice. That is cool, Joe.
Oh, thank you, Skyline. Thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate it.
The big thing right now is finding companies that have lots of freight. Yeah, I agree with you, and that's hard to find right now. It even look at me. I'm at this huge company, and we have good weeks and bad weeks for sure.
Oh, man.
That's why I tell you guys to make sure you've got plenty of money saved up before you start this. If you come out here with $200 in the bank and you have a bad week, you're going to struggle.
Man.
But if you come out here with 5 or 10,000, you can kind of ride the storm a couple of weeks.
Oof. Yeah, I've always heard that.
Joe's biggest fear is that his wife sells his guitars for what he said he paid for them.
That has been a threat I've heard before from the
Oh,
wife.
that's funny.
Yeah, she says you have way too many, and but how much is too many of a good thing? There never is, right?
Now, did y'all meet as a result of your music? Were you playing
No.
somewhere and she was a fan? Or
No. We met in another way, but it wasn't with
okay.
music. It wasn't with music. No.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe she saw one of your concerts and she's like, "Oh, I gotta meet the rocker."
No, if that was the case, she would have ran. I'm out of here. No.
Let's see what else we got here. LTL freight is slow also. Yeah. I got out of that at just the right time. Roadrunner's another one of those companies that I wish them the best, but I'm not in any hurry to return there either. Skyline hates EPU noise. It sounds like a lawnmower.
Some of them can be, I guess. Yeah.
I get used to it to where the buzz and the vibration puts me to sleep like a baby. I can have trouble waking up.
I see some drivers when if I'm getting fuel real early in the morning, about maybe 3 in the morning, and I'll look and just kind of see how they're parked, and everybody's backed in, but you might see one or two that are pulled in, so they don't hear the noise of the reefer from the truck beside them or on either side. So if they're pulled nosed in, so they don't hear the reefer. I was like, okay.
Well, I don't know why. When you're pulling a reefer, it doesn't sound as loud as when you're parked next to a reefer.
Yeah.
And it may be where they have the sound going out the sides. If you're next to a reefer, it's loud, but if you're in the sleeper and it's going, it doesn't seem as loud.
Yeah, it's never bothered me, but, I guess everybody's different,
I hate when they regen right beside you. Of course, they can't control it, but golly.
Yeah.
This truck sounds like it's coming apart when it goes in a regen.
Yeah. Makes a lot of noise, man, that's for sure.
Oh, man, this Detroit's loud when it does a regen.
Yeah. Skyline says he's happy with his optimized idle.
Yeah, I agree. I'm never going to get on here and tell you it's as good as an APU,
Mm.
but I will say for the money that it's not bad. It's usable. There's a little vibration in here you can see, just like if you were idling,
Mm-hmm.
but it's turned on and off, and it's done real good. Now, sometimes if I'm watching TV, I just go ahead and straight idle, because if it turns on and off while I'm watching TV, it'll kill the TV. And it's
Oh,
really bad if you're
yeah.
in the middle of Call of Duty or something. When
Right. I didn't get to save that. Yeah.
yeah, you're at the end of a level and you're doing great, and everything goes down.
Like, wait a minute. Yeah, I can imagine.
And
Man.
we've got a battery update. My laptop's up to half now, so
Okay.
this charging pack thing is doing well.
Oh, wow. And if you don't mind
Yep.
me asking, what brand of laptop did you get? I know you said you got a new one.
So this is a Hewlett Packard Omen
Okay.
16.1. It's got a Ryzen something 5 chip. And
Nice.
anyway, it's a gaming computer. It's got Bang and
Oh.
Olufsen speakers, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
it was
Those are
$1 or
nice.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
oh, those
little
are nice.
expensive.
Those are nice. Yeah. I used to, before I started really doing a lot of live stuff on my channel, playing music live. I love to do that. And but what I didn't know, this was, I don't know, years ago. I thought one laptop was just the same as another, and I would go in like a store and I'd say, well, that laptop's $400 and that one beside it is $2,500. What's the difference? Well, there's a big difference. There's the components, and all that stuff inside. That's what makes the difference. And the better the components, the more smoother that laptop's going to operate, and it can handle a lot bigger workload. So yeah.
Well, this one you're supposed to be able to expand the RAM based on the YouTube videos I've seen.
Right. Right.
It's got 2 empty slots, and so
Yeah.
that's one reason I liked it. I could kind of future-proof it if I needed to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And let's see here. Midlife says, or Tom says, Cheeseman OTR LTL, no shortage of freight. They're running his butt off. Don't take my word for it. I show. No, I've heard good things about Cheeseman, and I actually saw Tom in another video saying that too. And I don't think anybody disputes that Cheeseman's a good company. It's just where I live, I don't think they run my area. But if I think they do a lot of Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois. If I lived up in that area, Cheeseman would be on my short list for sure.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Park Smart System is better than OptiIdle. I'm not familiar with that one. Are you familiar with that one, Joe?
No, sir. I'm not. No, I've never heard of that. Honestly.
My good friend John Toohey says,
Hey, John.
just checked out the Joe Wentz project. You're pretty awesome on the guitar. Loved watching.
Oh, wow.
I did subscribe and rang the bell.
Oh, thank you, John. Thank you very much, man. That's very kind. Thank you, sir. I really
John's a
appreciate
good
that.
dude. If you get to know him, we
That's
may
awesome.
get him on the channel before too long. I've met him at a truck stop and we've talked on the phone several times.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He'll be a good subscriber for you. He's a real good guy.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Tom says he drives an International LT with an EPU. Loudest noise is the fan.
Oh, wow.
Huh.
Oh,
I like the International EPU. I think it's the best of all of them.
wow.
I'm going to catch a lot of ridicule for saying that, but I really do. It's been 5 or 6 years, but I had an International LT and I really enjoyed that truck. I know a lot of people hate them, but I thought it was a pretty good truck.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Tom says on Call of Duty Ghost, I play gun game. I'm the guy that knives everyone. Oh,
Wow.
well, the problem I have with playing Call of Duty is it always puts me in the middle and I get snipered. So I'm in there for like 5 seconds. It's like, boom, you're there. Boom, you're dead. And
Oh,
it doesn't
my
ever
goodness.
put me strategically where I can hide and shoot somebody. But
Oh,
like I
man.
say, if y'all email me your gamer tags, I'll try to add you guys.
Oh wow.
Who knows? I'm Thursday night. I may get on here and give my gamer tag. I don't know.
There you
I don't
go.
even know what it is on my Nintendo Switch. I got to get on there and look.
If
If
it
it
doesn't have
doesn't
an
have an
Apple on the back, it's just a PC. Yeah, my laptop is a Samsung. I've had it for I think this past Thanksgiving made 4 years, and it was I needed a new computer, man, and I went on this what was this site called? And oh man, I can't remember the name of the site. I needed a laptop, and I was wanting to upgrade, and they actually Googled it. I was like, where can you get a laptop on payments? This is when my credit was still in the tank, and I just didn't have, $1,000 or something to put on a laptop. I just didn't have it. And I came across this one site and I did some research on it. So I was like, is that legit or is that? And I did a lot of research and it was legit. And I got this laptop on payments. You had to put so much down and I paid so much a month and I paid it off early. And there you go. I was able to get this laptop and it's been a good one because the one I had before was like a 220 something dollar special from Walmart, and it wouldn't hold up when you did a live stream. You kept losing your connection, and it just it just wasn't no good.
Before we go to the next question, I got two comments. One, the best laptop I ever had was a Toshiba Satellite, and it was several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Toshiba makes a really nice laptop.
They do.
And the other comment is, any of you with a laptop with a keyboard that lights up, can you tell me how to turn on the light on the keyboard?
Yeah, you have to go in your settings.
It's
I
in
would
the
imagine.
settings somewhere?
Yeah, you have to go in your settings because mine was like that, where if I touch it, it lights up, and then it stays lit up for maybe a minute, and then it'll go off. And
Well, this was supposed to have 3 different colors.
yeah, you go into your settings, and especially if you still have your manual, look at that. If you don't have your manual, you can always Google how to turn your light up keyboard on that
It's
particular
at the
model.
house.
Well, you can Google it when you get time. You can Google that for that model laptop, and you can find the answer. I did it with this one. I did it with this one because I was like, how do you do this and that? And I Googled it, boop, and I was like, oh, okay, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm still learning everything on this one.
Oh, yeah.
I keep thinking there'll be a button on the keyboard.
There should be, if you look at the top, I don't know how yours is, but usually you might see that little icon for the setting, like the little gear emblem. That's usually the icon for your setting, like a gear on a 10 speed or something.
I'm going to have to mess with it later. I'm technically challenged.
Yeah, you mess with it later when you got time, but yeah, you'll get it, man.
So West Coast wants to know if we got EPUs or APUs. We don't have either. We got OptiIdle. And like I said, I think EPUs and APUs are better, but I've adapted to the OptiIdle and I'm pretty happy with it for the most part.
Well, that's good, man.
Okay, anything else? We're at the over 2 hour mark, and I asked Joe to stay with me an hour. I hadn't even asked him if he minded staying longer.
No, I don't. I'm on vacation, man. I don't mind. I got plenty of time.
Okay.
Plenty of time, my friend.
We can do a little bit longer then if y'all got any more questions. If not, I'm going to go drive I got to deliver in Forest City, Arkansas. It's a drop and hook, so I can take it there today or tomorrow, but I'll probably just run it over there tonight after I get off if I'm not too tired, depending on how long.
How far
this
is you talking? How long is that?
Like 200 miles away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
So I'll probably do it. I've been sitting here all day trying to get this tire fixed.
Oh man, that's right. Yeah.
It's going to be, I'm waiting to talk about it. It's not to put everybody off, but it's still a developing story, and I want to give Swift a chance to respond before I comment, but it's been a crazy ordeal. All right, Skyline, have a great night.
See you, Skyline.
Enjoy your FaceTime with your daughter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Check out Joe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for being here, Skyline. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Oh, there you go. Option F3. There you go.
Let's try that. It didn't work on this one. I don't know. It does show. I think that's screen brightness on this one, F3. Let me try F2. Yeah, I think that's screen brightness, but
Oh, okay.
I will. That was one of the reasons I bought it because you could light the buttons up different colors, and
Yeah, that's what I like about this one. It has the lit up. I've never had that before. I was like, man, I like that.
my
Yeah,
Toshiba had that, and I loved it. But
yeah. Especially if it's if you're trying to do something and it's dark, you can see the keys, and when you're typing an email or something,
it's also
really.
got some of the characters are in blue, and I
Hmm.
can't find the button that activates those. I've tried control, function, alter, the alt button.
Alt. Yeah.
I can't figure out which button controls the blue things, but
Hmm.
my problem's always time. I just need to find time to sit here and play with
Yeah.
this thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm
It's
sorry this channel is turning into the how to work your laptop technical hour. We- We've got we've got an experienced trucker on here that's an excellent guitarist, and we're talking about how to fix my laptop.
how to fix your laptop with Trucker Todd tonight on YouTube.
See, I need all those cool sound effects.
That's what a mixer will do for you, man. Yeah. John, he says he's got to go. Take care, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, take care, John. And I'm sorry I had to cut you off. Give me a call and we'll talk either. Well, probably tomorrow's better. After the show, everybody calls me and I can be pretty hard to get a hold of. Tom is in Tyler, Texas for the night. My brother
Oh.
lives about 20 miles from there,
Oh, okay.
and I used to live about an hour north of there in Mount Pleasant. So I'm very familiar with that area. Still got a lot of family in that area. Be careful out there. You going to the Target or somewhere else, Brookshire's or something like that?
The next time we get together, if we can do another live hang, I'll play you some ZZ Top. They're from Texas. The little band from
Ah, yeah,
Texas.
that'd be
Yeah.
great. Can you do
Yeah.
Sharp Dressed Man?
I have done that. The one I have loaded. See, I have an MP3 player right here beside my mixer that is preloaded with backing tracks, and it's like a set list. And one of the songs that I have by them is Lagrange. You know,
Oh yeah.
that's always a fun song. It's really
Oh,
fun.
that'd be good.
Yeah, it's fun. That was one of the first songs I learned to play with the because he's doing what you call chicken picking, and
Mm,
I can't really do that really well, but I can do it on that song. And I was like,
mm.
what is he doing? And somebody showed me how to play it a long time ago, and I've loved it ever since.
This is another really good friend of mine, good guy. Great show. Joe is awesome. Gonna
Oh,
sub tonight.
thank you, Mayor.
And I wanted to get him on here. I was gonna have y'all both on tonight because he
Oh,
would he would have a lot of good questions for you. We was still gonna,
oh,
but I
okay.
just didn't get time to call him and set that up. But we'll probably get him on in a few weeks if he's not working.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
he works like he's a workaholic. So
Oh my
it's if we
goodness.
can. I bet
Yeah.
he's driving right now. But if we can get him on, he's got a lot of good information to share too.
Oh, okay,
He used
cool.
to he used to be a police officer, and
Oh, okay.
he's got lots of good stories.
He's got
So
some stories, I'm sure.
lives in Florida, so he's roughing it.
My
Yeah, right by the
That's where my wife's from. She grew up, born and raised in Bradenton, Florida. Yeah. Hmm.
right by the beach. He's living,
Yeah.
just a rough life right out there by the beach. Yeah,
Rough life. Yeah.
yeah. He's poor guy. I feel sorry for him. It's tough living in paradise.
Paradise. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's thanks, Mayor. Appreciate that, my friend.
Hey,
That's very nice of you. Thank you.
since I'm getting blackballed by a lot of companies right now, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring some of my friends like you and him on that are really interesting people.
Thanks, man.
Deontay,
Yeah.
I tried to find your stuff today. I want to bring you on too, and there's several others of you. Like I said, if I've talked to you about it and I hadn't contacted you yet, shoot me another email.
Right.
We'll
Yeah.
get you on pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I got
Cool.
some big stuff coming up here real soon.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, big stuff. That
Wow.
it I'm still putting it together, but there's going to be some big guests coming up. I
Oh.
thought I was going to have one tonight, and that's why it took me a while to get back to you.
Oh, that's fine, man. I
It
totally, I totally understand. Oh, he's going to the Target. Yeah.
yeah, They don't do appointments, just meet with maintenance. Yeah, I know when I did Dart, we went there a lot, and they had like a 12-hour window.
Ooh,
So it was nice. I would sleep in and then I'd deliver it after I woke up the next morning.
wow.
Let's see. We got Park Smart system runs off 4 batteries mounted between the rails. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what these other guys are calling an EPU, an electric power unit.
Oh, okay.
Uh, it's the 4 AGM batteries. And I like that system too. Some people say that they catch on fire, but I never had any problems with them. I thought they worked really good.
Hmm.
My international had run a whole 10 hours without ever having to start.
Wow.
They put a little bit larger alternator on them so that
Mm-hmm.
it'll charge the batteries while you're going down the
There you
road.
go. Yeah.
And if you're smart about it, you can cool your sleeper off while you're going down the road. And then when you park, your EPU doesn't have to work so hard because
Oh,
you've
okay.
already got it cool in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's see what else we
Smart
got
move.
here.
Yeah.
Matthew Miller, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Hey,
I got
Matthew.
my good friend Joe Wentz here, and he's been making us laugh all night. This has been kind of a fun show. This is what I needed. We've been doing so many serious things lately. It's good to kind of just get on here and laugh and cut up a little bit.
Yeah, man. Just try to relax and have fun sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. Very nice, man.
And I really needed it after today. Today was a stressful
Oh
day, and
man, I hate to hear about that tire, man. Mm.
I'm allergic to nightsticks. I get all sweaty and puffy.
Oh man.
Oh,
Oh
that's funny.
man.
That's a
Well, let me ask you this, without giving too much. Was the tire rather? Was it on the tractor or trailer?
trailer.
Oh,
So it
okay.
didn't cost me. So here's, man, I'm so tempted to
No,
tell that story.
don't let the cat out of the bag. I would just
It's a,
save it for
I
Thursday.
really, one of my rules is I want to give Swift a chance to respond before I say anything.
Oh, okay.
And the same
Yeah.
thing with that load out of the Carolinas that I had coming back to
Yeah.
Texas.
Hmm.
I lost about $1,200 by them taking that load off of me.
Oh man.
And so I'm, and that's net after everything comes out. So
Mm.
I'm holding off commenting until, because
Right.
there's still an investigation going on. And I want to give them, I want to be able to give both sides of the story and
Right.
not react.
That's
So,
good. That's good.
so
That's the right way to.
Thursday's the deadline though. If we don't hear something good by Thursday,
Yeah. Dead.
I, I'm going to drop the hammer and whatever happens, if I get in trouble, I get in trouble. It's whatever. I don't care. It's
He said the
it,
deadline. Oh,
yeah.
you,
It's a
you're going to
well.
hear. You're going to hear this. Todd, come to the office. Todd, come to the office.
I, I'm surprised they don't have that on like a pre-recorded deal.
Oh no.
It's
Oh my
it's really
goodness.
not as contentious as everybody thinks it is, but
Yeah. Right.
when you do what I do, eventually your mouth's gonna get you in trouble.
Yeah, that'd be all
It's
right, man. Oh,
doing good. That's awesome. That's good to hear, Matthew.
that's good, Matthew. Yeah, man. Great deal.
I'm sorry the notifications went out late tonight. Some of that's my fault. I didn't get things set up till about 4:40. I need
Right.
to get in there earlier, about 4, and then that way it has more time for the
Right.
notifications to
To
go
get
out.
spread out there. Yeah.
Let's see. Cheeseman delivers
Yeah.
forklifts,
Yeah.
batteries, and parts. So
Hmm.
we don't wait for appointments. We need
I see
to.
them all the time out here in this neck of the woods. Yeah. Hmm.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's good information, Tom. I appreciate that. Where I live in Lubbock, there's a couple of companies that have a deal with John Deere
Mm.
delivering parts to the John Deere dealerships,
Dealerships. Yeah.
and they've got a lift gate, and you just roll the pallets off. And I looked at doing that at one point. Let's see, both my international and my Peterbilt could go all night on the. Yep, they sure can,
Wow.
especially if you've got good uh, AGM batteries on there,
Hmm.
they'll last.
Wow.
Their AGM batteries are slower to charge, but they hold the charge longer.
Hmm.
And that's that's what I was going to put on my travel trailer, and I ended up having to get a regular battery. But when I was at Dart, both of my trucks, I had AGM batteries on them.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little more expensive, but
But they're
um,
worth it, right?
yeah, they're worth it. I think,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And I run an AGM battery on my pickup,
There you go.
so wow, we're hitting all the topics tonight.
That's good, man. A
Yeah, it's a
plethora of things to talk about on the Trucker Todd channel. Yeah.
oh yeah, you've inspired all these thoughts in people.
Oh Lord. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man.
So what else have you guys got tonight? We're at 2 hours and 15 minutes now,
Wow.
and Joe hadn't ran for the door yet. He's like,
Uh,
he's gonna start skipping and going. My internet connection's bad. Gotta go.
I can't hear what you.
Yeah, there you go. And you got the sound effects there. You could pull it off.
Oh man.
Ah, that's funny. On
Oh
Friday,
boy.
Todd will be routed to Phoenix.
Oh
Shoot,
man.
I make them so mad. I'm surprised they don't say, "Pull over at the next rest area and get out."
Oh no. Oh man.
It's no, they. It's really not like that. It. We have a good relationship. Obviously, sometimes I say something they don't like, or they do something I don't like. It's like any other company, but I
Right.
don't think my head's on the chopping block right now. But it could be Thursday.
Oh
Oh,
man.
that's
Oh lordy.
the EPO. The EPU works good in the cold. Yeah, it does.
Hmm.
And you wouldn't think it would because it's battery operated.
Oh.
It also has features in there that if it gets to a certain temperature, it'll go ahead and crank the truck to keep the fluids and the diesel warm so it doesn't freeze. They really are a nice system, but
Hmm.
it's like anything that's battery powered. They degrade over time. So
Hmm.
once those batteries start getting older, they're not as strong as they once were. But
Right. Right.
and I think they're pretty pricey to change out. But
Hmm.
it's only money. You'll make more.
That's right. That's what I say. Yeah.
It's
That's
only money.
yeah. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while you're here to a certain degree is what I say.
And by the way, absolutely no accountant supports what I just said either. So, I don't like to speak on behalf of tax professionals, but I can
Oh.
guarantee you none of them agree with that statement. I'm out here on an island right now.
Brought to you in part by H&R Block.
Where did you get that? I need that.
Just right here. I just hit I got a reverb button on my mixer, and I call it my
That's for your guitar stuff.
well, it's really just for all my audio here, so I can turn up this slider for my reverb, and I just do my announcer voice. I didn't
Mhm.
name it that; other people call it that, and so you just roll it up and you do this. Trucker Todd, brought to you in part by H&R Block, and then
Oh,
you
that's
fade it
hilarious.
back out. Yeah,
That's
it's
hilarious.
just fun toys, man. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically the bunk heater back there that's doing that.
Yeah.
Well, I say that. Yeah, that's right. It is the bunk heater, but it'll keep it comfortable in there. And when it gets down low enough that it's worried about your diesel or your oil, it'll crank up and warm it up.
Hmm.
Um, and I've had good luck with them.
Wow,
But
that's
it's the
great.
same thing I do with OptiIdle. I put it on battery mode and I turn the bunk heater on,
Hmm.
and it'll run the bunk heater till the batteries get low, and then it'll crank and run for a little bit.
There you go.
Then it'll shut off and go back to the bunk heater.
Hmm.
You probably don't have to worry about that a lot since
I,
you're
I,
home, do
I
you?
don't know. No. Even back in the day, years ago when we did have sleeper trucks, they just, you just idled. Didn't have none of that stuff, the EPUs or nothing, APUs or whatever. Didn't have
Yeah.
that. But rarely did I go out too far where it was overnight. I did a Richmond, Virginia for a while. Did that for, I don't know, quite a while. And we ended up losing that account. And when they lost that account, wasn't long after that, they got rid of all the sleeper trucks and everything went to day cabs. And I was like, well, dang it. And so that's the way it is. It
Wow.
still is today. I enjoyed the sleeper. It had a lot of room, and I could take a guitar with me and have play. But in a day cab, man, it sucks. You know,
Oh
don't
yeah,
have no room.
no room.
Mhm.
Tom knows of someone that was told to stop the truck at the next truck stop. Another driver took his load and he was terminated for videoing while driving.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I got really lucky there
Yeah.
because when I started doing YouTube, there was no guidelines about that stuff.
Hmm.
But I had the forethought to realize that there might be one day. And there were several drivers at Dart and Swift both that were fired
Yes.
for videoing while
I
driving.
remember
So
there's a couple of big YouTube channels that worked at Swift, and they got let go, and I was like, my goodness. And so that always stuck in the back of my mind. So that's why I said, no, I don't do no filming when I'm driving, not in the
yeah, when
company
I
truck.
do a recorded video, I set the camera up to where you can see out the driver's window. I put it at an angle
Right.
where you can see I'm not
Yeah.
moving. And then
That's a smart move.
right here,
Yeah.
you can tell I'm not moving. You can see both my hands.
Right. Right.
And I
Yeah.
don't even like earlier today, and I forgot to do the load board update today, but uh, when I was in the video conference call for the load board today, um, I was parked and it was obvious that I was parked. Some guys will go on there while they're driving, not me. I'm gonna make sure I'm parked when I do that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's why I said I don't want to do no filming while I'm driving. That's unless I'm in my personal vehicle, then that's different. But
I don't even know how I feel about the headsets that you wear on your forehead because um, still, if you were to have an accident, they would say you were distracted.
oh, you mean the head cams with the
Yeah,
cameras?
like the
Oh yeah,
GoPros and stuff.
yeah. I don't. I mean, it's a cool vantage point, but yeah, I just
I'd want to sit down with some safety people within the company and
yeah, cover your bases. Yeah,
make sure we're okay with it.
yeah. I guess they.
And
I've seen some people do it, and I guess they. I guess they. I don't know if they did that beforehand or not, but
now I don't mind using the dash cam stuff like in a video, put music to
that's
it or
perfectly
something.
legal. Yeah, yeah,
But I don't want
yeah.
anything that I'm in control of
Right.
or nothing.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Batteries are expensive, company driver. So AGM batteries, I know because I was in the shop today, are like $230, $240 a piece.
Oof.
And most trucks have 4 batteries, so
Mm.
you're looking at 1,000 for the
Yeah.
batteries
Yeah.
and then probably $200 to put them on. So
Mm.
you're looking somewhere around $1,200 or $1,300. Obviously, it could fluctuate a little if you're getting them in California and you
Right.
got environmental fees and stuff. But yeah, they're significantly higher than just regular batteries.
Mm.
Let's see. John, my friend John wants to know, hey
Hey,
Joe,
John.
have you ever heard of Justin Johnson? If not, I think you will like him.
No, sir. I can't say that I have right off hand. No, sir. I have not right off hand. I have to
Do
check them
they
out.
do they do similar type music?
Yeah, I have
Like
to. Yeah, I
yeah,
have
you
to.
may want to look into that.
Yeah, I have to check that out. Absolutely.
Yeah, I confused a lot of people. I did some videos about Schneider, and a lot of people thought I had worked there. I've never worked for Schneider. However, I've managed to tick off a lot of people within that company.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh
it
Lord.
they they've got a lot of policies that they're not proud of, and they don't tell you about them till you go to work there. And I found out about them, and they yeah, I wouldn't work there. I don't know if I'd get an SFI truck ever, but I don't think I could work with Schneider. They do some stuff that I feel is micromanagement.
Mm.
Let's see. Have you ever seen Brad James on YouTube? He sings covers and a few originals in his truck.
I have not. I need to look into that as well. Yeah.
That's what you need to do. Start taking your guitar and singing in your day cab after each stop. Give us a song.
I
Go
can.
live.
I'm not a singer. No. Oh Lord.
You could seat belt your amp in on the passenger seat.
Oh Lord. Yeah. There you go. Oh
Uh,
man. Oh.
that's hilarious. He is a unique talent, cigar box, and shovel guitar.
Oh, that's Justin Johnson he's talking about. Okay. Okay. I have to check that out. Huh. That is very interesting.
All my footage comes from Rexing dash cams that are high window mounted on the passenger
Oh,
side.
okay, yeah. Yeah, you
That's
good with
cool.
it.
I'm using Samsara.
Yeah, I bought a dash cam actually from Amazon. It's a oh man, I forget the name of it now, but it was like $50, and you have to put a 16 gig SD card in it, and it records so many clips, and then after a while it'll go back over that again and start recording. But it holds a lot of footage. But yeah, I just and it does have the. That's funny that you say the Samsara is what you have in your truck, and that's what the company I work for. That's what they use. They use the Samsara cameras, the same one you have, and the we call them the little handhelds. It has the Samsara software on it for our
Ah,
e-logs. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't opt for that because I was using Swift CLD, but
Hmm.
I can pay the upgrade license fee and get that if I ever want it.
Yeah.
So, let's see what else. What else have we got here? Anybody else got anything? We're at almost the 2.5 hour mark. Oh, I was going to tell you, I had the Nexar and I bought it off Amazon and I really liked it, but it recorded in-cab audio
Oh,
and I
see,
didn't,
mine, you can. That's an option. You can either have it on or off. Yeah.
I even got with technical support. They said there was no way to turn it off on that camera. And I was like, oh, the Nexar has to go then because I don't want in-cab audio.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that either. But yeah.
John wants to know, since you're into guitars, he thinks that you will like it. He has been on YouTube for years and years, a million plus
Wow.
subscribers.
Holy smokes. He's doing something right, isn't he? Wow.
Hey, he may want to do a collaboration with you.
I wish. Man, yeah, that'd be nice. But yeah. I'm like you, man. Time is my biggest thing that I don't have, especially running at night. Well, you and me have had a few conversations on the phone,
Yeah.
late at night, and we've talked for a while, and so yeah, it's yeah, that's the biggest thing, man. Not having enough time, and it didn't seem like that when I was younger. Do you ever notice that when you're like in your
Mm,
20s, you have all the time in the world, and when you get a little older, you're going, 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 going. It's like, man, you need to do this. Do that. Did you change the oil in the car? Oh no, I forgot. Did you go to the store? No, I forgot. Man, I got. It's just always something
mm.
going on. And but yeah,
And I go home and I think, all right, this Tuesday, I'm not going to do nothing.
nothing. Yeah.
And something happens. And as a matter of fact, there was one day because I was just home for 12 days.
Mm,
I said, tomorrow I have nothing planned. I said, I'm going to lay here and play video games all
yeah.
day. And I
Yeah.
didn't get to play 1 minute of video games. I ran my tail off.
Especially with your recent purchase, I can understand why that you had to get
Oh,
things.
gosh.
Man, I can only imagine all the running around you had to do with that.
Well, the deal if you buy a truck from an individual from another state,
Hmm.
they're not set up for that. They're set up for you to go to a dealership and buy one.
Oh,
And
okay.
so insurance is a mess because I didn't have a DOT number. Temporary registration's a
Yeah.
mess. I mean, just every little step is a mess.
Wait, man,
And
I couldn't imagine.
so I finally got it. Even now, I was talking to somebody today, and they're like, "Well, who's the lien holder?" I said, "I don't have a lien holder. I paid cash for it."
Right.
And you could hear the silence. It's like we don't know what to do.
He owns his truck. What we don't understand what to do.
And I'm like, "Yeah." In rare instances, people pay their trucks off and
Yeah.
they keep
Yeah.
them. They don't trade them in.
Yeah.
But
That's right. Yeah.
it's
Wow.
crazy. The older you get, the faster it goes. Yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
Yes. Yes. My mother said that not long ago. I was telling her the same thing. I said, "Man, I just don't have enough time to do anything anymore." She says, "Honey, the older you get, the faster it goes. So you better enjoy it." Yeah, she's right, and John is as well. They're both right.
Hmm.
It goes by quick.
Oh man, this has been fun.
Oh
I got
yeah,
some good laughs
it's
tonight.
that's good, man. I'm glad. I had a good time myself. Very good time. Haven't done a live hangout in a long time. I haven't had the time. I'm just glad
I think
everything
we're
worked out.
going to do some more of these pretty soon. When's your next vacation?
And and my next one is in May. The first
Wow.
is the first week of May because my birthday is May the 3rd, and I'll yeah, and then we can set it up. We can here's a truck and turn. We could pre-plan it, and and uh, I can be set up to play some tunes if you want,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
play
definitely.
some tunes.
I'm gonna
'Cause
bring the guy that I went to Little Rock with and hung out with is starting out in trucking, brand new, going to a truck driving school and gonna be out with a trainer.
right.
I'm gonna try to get him on in a few weeks after he's kind of got his feet wet a little bit and kind of see what his early impressions are about trucking and things like that too. So
Oh,
I
that's
got a lot
good.
of these scheduled, but
Yeah,
we just got to see how it goes.
right.
The hard part's finding when people can do it because they're
Yeah,
typically working and they don't have any
yeah.
time either.
That is especially in trucking. Yeah.
Thanks to Joe, I have more music to listen to
Oh
going down the road.
man, thank you, John. That's really nice, man. Thank you very much. God bless you, brother. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
That's
he's
very.
good. You'll like him. Even if you don't like all the songs, I bet he's covered a song you like.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, what I enjoy is classic rock and 80s. That was the staple of my youth, you know. But just like when
Give
I was a
yourself.
teenager, my parents listened to 50s, and we'd be going. My dad, I'd be riding down the road with my father somewhere, and he'd have one of them, some old doo-wop song on, and I would look, and I was like, "What are you listening to?" And he said, "That's real music, son." And it's just different generations, but that was mine. You know, 70s and 80s. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah, totally, totally cool, man. Man,
All right, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this up since comments have kind of died off and I've yawned twice. uh, hey,
uh,
that's something I do want to talk about before we go.
sure.
John says he's 58 and loves classic rock.
Awesome, awesome.
And I thought of some lyrics to a song
Hmm.
from Bowling for Soup
Oh wow.
about about how that oh, how does it go? About how that when did Motley Crue become classic rock?
Oh,
You know,
talk about feeling old. Yeah, that's
yeah, it's a you
yeah,
listen and I can remember when classic rock was like Elvis and
right.
Buddy Holly, and now classic rock is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Poison and Whitesnake and
I
Motley Crue.
know, man. And I was like, when I was in high school, that was the music of the time. And
Hmm.
I'd come home from school and high school that is, and the first thing I'd do is I'd grab the remote and go, and it'd be in an MTV, right? That's when MTV was cool, and I'd have it on the whole time, and you would see Whitesnake, you would see some throwbacks, maybe the Cars, maybe Pat Benatar, then you have some Van Halen, then you'd have Sammy Hagar, and I'd be doing homework. Well, sometimes I'd be doing homework, and I'd be like, man, look at, and I'd be like, I look and I say, what? Who was that now? Oh, I love that song, and I push the books to the side, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is a brand new song from Whitesnake, and it was a. And now, fast forward 30 something plus years later, now it's nothing but reality stuff. And I'm like, man, that sucks. And
And the new music is just
it's
awful.
horrible, man. And nobody plays instruments no more. Everything is done on a computer.
And
And
they use those voice box things to alter their voice, and
yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm
What
talking about.
auto tune is what it's called.
Auto tune,
Auto tune, yeah,
exactly.
yeah, auto
Yeah.
tune, yeah. Yeah, it's my influences. West Coast Trucker says, "Who are my?" Oh, I got a bunch, man. Well, there's a bunch there. It's mainly guitar influences. You can see right here, right there. That is a beach towel. That's Jimi Hendrix right there. My wife got me that years ago. And if you move right there, it's hard to see, but that is a painting that I found online of Eddie Van Halen playing his guitar. It's his hands playing the body of his guitar. So of course Hendrix and Eddie Van Halen were influences, and then you got Eric Clapton, B.B. King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eric Johnson, John Mayer. Good Lord, there's so many. Ace Frehley of Kiss. I always thought he was awesome. He was an influence. Just a lot of the classic guys. you know,
I,
and
I wouldn't. I know he's not really in that deal, but I really, really like Sammy Hagar the older I get.
I love his voice has never faltered, and I think he's 77. I think he just
You
turned
don't.
77
He's
in
not the
October.
first name you think of when you think of guitarists, but I really like Sammy Hagar the older I get.
He see when he was in Van Halen, cause David Lee Roth was in. I want to geek out here for a minute, folks. So when David Lee Roth was in Van Halen from '78 up until 19, officially his last album with Van Halen was 1984, and then he left, and then Sammy Hagar came in, and Sammy was with Van Halen from roughly 86 up until 96, 97. But during Sammy's time in Van Halen, he had to do another solo record for Geffen Records because he was contractually obligated, right, to do that. So he did another solo album for Geffen, and Eddie Van Halen played bass on that album because he was still in Van Halen, but he had to do another solo record for Geffen. And but the name of that album is called "I Never Said Goodbye," and Sammy plays all the guitars on that record, electric guitars. He's an amazing guitar player. He's just very underrated. You know, he's
Yeah.
incredible. He's incredible.
A lot of people don't know that Eddie Van Halen played the guitar riffs and beat it for Michael Jackson.
Well, he didn't play the riffs. He played the solo.
That's what I mean.
Steve
Yeah.
Steve Lukather played the rhythm. And people like, who's Steve Lukather? Steve Lukather was the guitar player in Toto.
Ah,
He played the rhythm parts and he played the bass guitar on Beat It. And Eddie did the solo. And they already had the song put together, and they sent it to Eddie to put his solo spots on, and then they sent it back to Quincy Jones, and then he put it all together. Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Uh, Todd, the singer of your theme song, is the director of recruiting at Christensen. I did not know that.
Wow,
He was
wow.
working at Prime for a long time, and I thought he was still at Prime. But he's a great guy. I actually messaged him on Facebook Messenger and got permission to use his song. That's why
Wow.
that's why I don't get hit with any copyright strikes
Right.
or nothing like that. He gave me permission to use the song,
Yeah.
but he's a great guy, and if I was in that area, I'd go watch them perform. They are really good.
Very nice. Yeah. They
Uh,
sound awesome. I love that
and
intro music.
I'm still trying to figure out how to, because there's a lot more. I want to use some of my dash cam videos and put more music to it, but
Right.
the YouTube music sucks, and
Yeah.
I want to
It's
use like Whitesnake or something, and I got to
yeah.
figure out how to get a license to put Whitesnake to
Well,
it.
you can do that with the site I told you about before.
Yeah.
Karaokeversion.com, and you can just purchase the full version of the track. You can do that, and you can purchase a license. You can do that if you want. I think it's like, I don't know, $26 per song or something. And it could fluctuate. I don't know, because I never went that far to purchase a license for a song, because the songs I'm doing, they're it's not my music, and I don't make nothing off that anyway. When I'm especially doing a live thing here with music, I did one a few nights ago. I played for about 45 minutes, and every song I played was a cover song. And then, but YouTube always gives me a not a copyright strike, but a copyright claim. There's a big difference,
Yeah.
and claims don't hurt you at all. It's just letting you know, hey, this content is owned by somebody else, and we're just letting you know. You can still put up the video. This doesn't penalize you, but this is owned by somebody else. So don't try to get money off of it. And I'm like, cool. I'm not trying to get money. It's not mine.
Yeah.
And that's a battle I would lose in a New York minute. So
Wow.
but I just love playing the music.
Yeah. That's I may have to look into that. I used to have Epidemic Sound when I first started,
Yeah.
and they don't have any real music that anybody would get excited about.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff. It's okay for like what I'm doing for this trucker series. It's okay for that, for certain little things. But when you have some driving footage, you want some cool music, something that somebody can relate to. You don't want some generic background stuff, because to me it just doesn't do anything. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean,
So that's cool that the Brothers Roberson went to Christensen. I thought they were lifers at Prime,
Hmm.
but they actually have. Here's a fun fact: if you get on YouTube and type
Mm-hmm.
that song in,
Mm-hmm.
they actually made a music video of prime trucks in it, like
Wow.
drivers. Yep, yep,
Wow.
that's him.
How about
We're
that?
talking about the same guy.
Rhett
Well, shoot,
Robertson of the
maybe.
Brothers Roberson. Wow.
Yeah, he's a real nice guy.
Wow. That's cool.
That's see, you learn something every day.
Every day. Learn something every day, man. That
I
is
need to
really
go
cool.
through their songs. They're on Spotify, and I listen to some of their stuff on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to get on there and see if they've got any more songs like that that are trucking related that I could talk to them about using.
Yeah, there you go.
And they're like really young too.
Right.
So Epidemic Sound or Art List. I've never tried Art List. I may have to look into that.
Hmm.
But I'm wanting to do like White Snake and some more Bon Jovi stuff and
Right. Yeah.
Sammy Hagar. I don't want like
Yeah.
Joe from Germany that I've never heard of. And he's in his garage with a ukulele trying to.
Who is that? It's Joe from Germany, man. Come on. You know who that is.
Yeah,
He's the guy with the ukulele.
he's really popular on his block.
Yeah. Two people live on the block. Man.
Uh, he's still. Oh gosh,
That's funny,
I could go
man.
all night. That's hilarious.
Oh, me, oh, my.
All right, we're getting goofy. I guess we
Okay.
need to wrap this up.
All
I
right.
want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. Thanks for joining us tonight, Joe.
Oh, thank
And
you. Had a
holler
blast.
at. When do you go back on the road?
This coming, well, next Sunday. Yeah, next Sunday. Right.
Holler at me sometime. We kind of postponed the Greer thing, and it's still up in the air if I'm going to Matt's in Louisville or not. But I'm
Okay.
trying to get set up where I can see everybody somewhere. But holler at
Okay.
me if you're out there one night and bored.
Sure. Sure,
If
man.
I'm not asleep, I'll talk to you.
Okay.
All right, man.
Sounds
We'll
good.
see y'all. Have a good night.
See you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, folks. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for joining us. Bye bye. See you Thursday.